Okay. Today we are back with the Dragon game. And I, being who I am, have looked up a lot of information about it. Documentation on this game, a little sparse. Pretty much just focused around the first chapter, with anecdotal stuff around later parts. But it's enough for me to kind of understand how to play it now. Come on, capture. Come on, yeah, you can do it. There's that egg. So we start with a new life. That's really loud in my ears. If I start from here, yeah, you can just start with however much you want. So like level 2 and everything, with 1 extra in water, and the rest in fire. Get it to level 3 as soon as possible. Reading through... Okay. Reading through extra material, it seems that fire and earth are the best stats. I thought it was water, because water is what's needed to sneak and do hunting really smoothly. But really, you're gonna need the combat stats eventually. And so you really need fire and earth, because those are the most important stats there. Even the water and the air skills, their damage scales on fire, even if their success rate scales on their element. So in that case, you'd really just need more fire. Learn to grow before the no-tails discover your presence and come for you. Remember what you've learned. Hunt when hungry. Blah, blah, blah. Heartbone Valley. Great Green. Destiny's in your jaws. So it was, is, shall be, whatever. Oh, Actually, I am going to not do that. I'm going to... Moment I hatch from my egg. Yes. Because I want to get a certain item that you can only get if you do certain things in the beginning. There, I think that's enough. Cricket crunch, cricket crunch. So, in the beginning, there are a few things I didn't do the first time that are actually really useful. So first, I just dig. The dirt stubbornly resists your scrabblings. It seems as if the floor of this chamber has been trod down by some great being, most likely your creator, and now resists your attempts to unmake it. You eventually give up, feeling slightly more empty than before for your efforts. Earth Mastery. Flow steadily upwards. Now we gotta look. You can get the water for some free energy, but that doesn't really matter because the tutorial will fill up your energy anyway, even if you skip it. But it does give you some mastery in whatever you choose. There's no reason to try to fly again, because I already have the... the card. Once we get back to Burb, get it to divulge a secret. Express your deep admiration of its beauty, noting the subtle blue shimmers within its dark feathers and the pearl-like shine of its lighter parts. You confess envy of its ability to dance so very gracefully upon the wind and the legendary cleverness of its people. It seems that it is quite prone to flattery. Preening its feathers proudly, it sings, "Truly this hatchling knows beauty is beauty. My people know secrets such as our duty. One of your Dratkin met death here today, destroyed by the tailor, so the winds say. And yet in destruction a secret it keeps, a treasure within its great jaws there still sleeps. As it wings away, you reflect on the power of understanding others, and realize your mom's dead. By appealing to the whiteback's vain nature, you are able to get something valuable for a very small price. Its words, however, disturb you. What are the tailless, and how can they possibly be more powerful than a kin? Perhaps the kin was young, or perhaps the white-black was mistaken. Still, you cannot help but feel troubled." So doing that unlocks a treasure. But you need 11 water to either get the magpie to admit to that, or maybe you need the water to successfully sneak. I'm not sure which it is. But if you examine the body, something is odd about the way the great kin's mouth is set. Gently prying open its jaws, which are already cooling as the void spreads through the dead shell, you discover something odd. One of your creator's incisors was made not out of toothstone, but rather some kind of pale crystal. Your tail quivers and your head crest stands erect as you taste the air around this strange tooth. Something swims inside your mind like prey lurking among watery reeds. You decide to swallow the stone for now and regurgitate it later when you have found a place to safely examine it further. Incidentally, as I've read, anytime you're carrying items, like especially if you carry an item into combat, that's how you do it. You just swallow everything and then regurgitate it later, even mid-combat. Even some very strange things later. Retreat from the no-tails. I will grow stronger to bring destruction. Get that fire mastery up. And I heard that a good thing... well, no, I thought there was something I was supposed to do there. So instead of getting the small little nugget from beating up the magpie, you get the crystal tooth from entreating it. And the crystal tooth is a lot better. Sudden frog in my throat. Because the crystal tooth, once you learn how to use it, you can consume it for +5 to all of your elemental stats permanently. Yeah, sing to the earth. I sing of the greatness of earth, that which sustains and supports, which nurtures and orders. I sing of the earth beneath my claws, body of bodies, who birthed all things from her own sacred flesh, who gives us a place to rest, to live, to fly amidst the void. I sing of the earth within, the solid, structured order of the body, strength of my scales, solidness of bone, hills and valleys of my flesh growing greater with every sun, every turning. I sing of earth, which silently abides forever, resisting destruction without boundary. I am a mighty mountain, patient, immovable, and serene. Other beings see my greatness from afar, and their souls are filled with awe and wonder. I may be scarred, but never overthrown. My armor is stone, my feathers are trees. Praise to earth, who carries us all, and who does not feel the weight, who teaches us to outlive that which vexes us, to see the slow, still solution amidst the clamor of complexity, to walk as one eternal in this ephemeral world. Praise to earth, which is, was, and shall be. That gets you a bunch of earth mastery, which is pretty good. And then it's going to want us to do the tutorial, which just makes you auto eat the couple first things you hunted in the tutorial. All that just happens automatically. You don't have to worry about it. And then you're led off into... Not quite yet. Right, you have to talk to Dark Fang. So it doesn't matter what you pick in terms of in terms of like survival or anything, but it does get you different amounts of experience. I suppose I should have read that. You know, going through old stuff, it's hard to know what to read or not, but yeah, no, he says slightly different things. It doesn't really matter, but it does get you, yeah, slightly different elemental experience. So now that I have this... okay, I cannot do anything with it yet. So let's start with just collecting some rocks. Get 7 shiny rocks. Which, as we know now, are currency to be traded with other Drac. Other dragons. And let's see how much it costs to identify it. And he's like, what? Now. Found an interesting object. Has a hatchling found treasure of an unusual nature. For a price as one can sing of its hidden lore. This will cost 5 shiny things for each artifact you wish to learn more about. Show him the crystal fang. Casually sniffs the offered object and explains its origin and value. You are no longer ignorant of its true worth. And while I'm here, let's ask him another question. In the beginning there was sun, and there was earth. In a true dance of creation they were one. When they came apart, earth carried a burning seed within her, and in the fullness of time brought forth life. First those of tiny, simple music, then a vast symphony of bodies and minds. At last she birthed her ultimate creation, the Dratkin. Our people, living fulfillment of the power of earth and sun, true children of above and below. Of all beasts, we are the crest, the crowning feathers, high and beautiful. And we, our fangs, are crafted of earth's unyielding substance. Our breath glows with the power of the sun. By these gifts we became the bearers of power, the beasts before whom all others bowed. And all beings were our prey. That was the golden age, the time of dominion. Then came the skyfall, and all fell to ruin. But that is a truth not yet for your young mind. Know only that we are the greatest of all those who embody the music of this world. Today 5 clans of the Dratkin tribe remain. Your clan, the Emerald Kin, who dwell mostly in the green. My clan, the Sapphire Kin, who make their lairs in the blue, where the spirit of water is sovereign. The Ruby Kin, who dwell in the earth's flesh, close to the secret fire within her breast. The Onyx Kin, scions of the void, whose ways are shrouded in mystery. And the Crystal Kin, of whom very few remain. Like all good beasts, our function is to destroy our prey, thereby purging earth of excesses and impurities. By following this great way and engaging in dances of destruction and creation, we become stronger and stronger, larger and larger, until we become worlds ourselves, around and within which new and marvelous things may be. So do we inherit the legacy of earth and sun. This is but a shallow answer, given to one just begun. There are truths beyond this, but they cannot be trapped within sigils and signs. True enlightenment is never granted to one by another. It sleeps in the heart, and is awakened by its own echo in the mind, such as my song to a young kin. Alright, can I go? I need to get some tissue and blow my nose. I'll be right back. Alright, back. Okay, so before I eat the tooth, let's eat some buns. Or I suppose we should start with squirrels. I don't have the level 2 stealth yet. It's alert. Keep still. Don't flee from me. Ha, I'm quick. Oh, it just exploded him. Let's take another. So one very important thing to do is to get observation points. You want lots and lots of observation points. You want to finish everything's everything's like max observation thing. So this time, let's get close. Get close. Chase after it. And now, in combat, we're just gonna defend. Oh no! I insta-killed it. I didn't mean to. I wanted to learn more, not immediately obliterate it. I'm still hungry because it's so little. Alright. This is a memory crystal which your creator had within its maw, presumably for safekeeping. It is quite valuable, but only to those who can attune themselves to its harmonies. You could trade it undepleted for 200 small treasures. If you choose, you can put this in your mouth and enter the dreaming to access its contents. This would take most of the day. Why can't I put it in my mouth? Oop. There we go. Put the crystal fang in your mouth and rest. So large fills up your hatchling mouth, but you manage not to choke on it as you drift into the dreaming. Something is guiding you, pulling you along by your essence. You see something behind. Reality? A portal. A swell of earth, covered in trees. A great kin. You see so many things, but your young mind can only comprehend so much. The hill you saw is certainly not in Heartbone Valley. And was that Drac? Too much, too much! Your distress has awakened you prematurely from the eddies of the dreaming through which the crystal fang was guiding you. You remember some things, experiences which give you a taste of the power of an adult, of your mighty kind. But there was more to be seen. You cannot help but feel, as you are now though, you have learned all you can from this. Spitting out the shattered bits of crystal, you feel stronger than before. 5 points in each mastery. And each level of mastery is 10 points. So 5 points is a lot. So it is a full half a level and everything. And it is going to give me some level ups. Now, let's go exploring. You do just gotta spend days to unlock this. There's nothing you can do about that. It's funny, the speedrun just, like, keeps exploring, gets to the Great Green, and leaves immediately. I'm out of here, losers. Sees all later. And then it resets its life to immediately get the bonuses that you get on a new life. So since I'm still hungry, because squirrels don't fill a dragon belly. Tiny scale beast. Well, okay. Ah. When you're that much stronger than an enemy, you can kind of just punch them. Yeah, and that snake, I guess, isn't venomous. So now that I know that it's not dangerous, let's try to get some observation points. Chase after it. Chase is well coiled out. It looks cute. Oh, and I obliterated it in one shot again. Alright, so in that case, let's try intentionally missing the hit instead of chasing it. Because then I can begin the Dance of Destruction and just defend. So whenever you defend, you can see a little whoop go into your eye. And once that stops happening, that means you know everything there is to know about it. Obviously, you can't do that forever, because you will die. Alright, let's give it a good bite, just to, yeah, slow it down. Still getting knowledge points. Alright, I am now no longer getting points, so now I can eat it. I took some damage in the process, but I gained knowledge, which means I gain elemental points. You know. In eons past, we sacrificed our size and a world of tiny spaces opened to us. We sacrificed our limbs and found the water flow way. We sacrificed our coverings and are reborn in new and shining armor. If you would be as we are, self-renewing, unbounded and sinuous, circle about yourself and leave behind your own old skin. Learn to sacrifice. This is our way, the good way of the tail beasts. You have mastered the way of the tail beasts, and your bond with the element has grown. I do lose a tiny bit of the screen off the bottom, because it's the window's the exact same resolution as my monitor, because I have a crappy monitor. And I have this in windowed mode, because that records better. Well, we're fed and replete. So next, let's go to the water. And let's spend 3 days here. So we did the first 2. So we don't need to go over that again. You went around the rock. He even gives me some food. Not that I really need it. And if you're ever injured, you don't need to rest if you don't plan on doing anything that involves combat. So like this has no combat. So I can just do this even while injured and it's perfectly fine. Water cannot be destroyed. Behold, I am water, immortal, undestroyed. If you can cut me... Oh yeah, I already read that. Soon after, you have the good fortune of finding an injured water-bound swimmer, which you easily dispatch and take into yourself. You reflect on the truth of the spirit's words as its essence becomes yours. A destruction or a transformation. They are indeed one and the same. And now I can do a 3rd day with the water spirit. Which lets me... Oh, don't touch it. Leave it there. Have none of it. Besides, I'm full. Let's go infect the river with our new sickness. Water tumbles from the sky this sun, but while walking above may be irksome, small pattern striking your scales randomly, you found that the rain cannot follow you underwater. Indeed, in the deep of the river, all is smooth and calm. Finally, the water spirit appears before you a 3rd and final time, singing, O new begun of hatchling of sun and earth, bear now my testing song. What is the name of the water within you? Name me and know me. You are the red essence. That's a trick question. That makes it sound like fire. But he's talking about blood. Yes, I am the tide of you, flowing scarlet, carrying life in the rivers of your body. A quieter rhythm, more subtle than breath, a flow reaching every inner layer and den. Though hidden below, I make all above possible. I am content with the low places, not needing to be seen, needing only to dance to your endless rhythm until change comes again, and with it a new dance. So it is water which is strongest below life's surfaces. Now greaten my ways, and the hidden shall be revealed. Know the power of the quiet way, open all senses, perceive what others do not, find the hidden sea. 3 songs I have sung, and 3 back have I heard. Our game is now finished, and my spirit wanders on. Be not sad at our parting, for water is with you always. You are mine, and I am yours, and both of us are rivers, flowing to a distant unity. For your knowledge of me, a gift I now give. All stones I have worn down with time, yet even hard rock I overcome, slowly, slowly. But one alone holds its form against me, rejects my tender dances, clinging to itself. And you I give it, as reward for your wisdom. Take now your prize, the obstinate stone. Spirit curls itself into a perfect blue circle and expands, becoming all of the river once more. But there beneath where it once swam, a clear stone sits. It's a diamond. Can't weather that away. This is a large stone, slightly bigger than one of your paws, which the water spirit in the Heartmoan River Valley gave you. It is called obstinate, but as usual for a spirit, its precise meaning was unclear. It allows light to pass through it, sometimes converting it into color at certain angles. After this day, you swim in the river again, often hunting for pleasure, but never more does it impart its wisdom to you directly. Later in life, you will pause by the waterfalls and creeks, hearing snatches of its beautiful voice with the gentle sound of flowing water, and remember. And when it says some water mastery, it actually means a lot! 7 points for that last interaction. So that should take me to level 3 water. Learn to pacify foes, singing a calming mind song which temporarily reduces the enemy's fire attribute. That's not that useful. But now I have level 3 water, which means level 3 sneaking. So I'm a little hungry, body's in fine condition. Now let's just do a little exploring. There's really no reason to go towards where the humans are, except for one thing I'm interested in doing. Now I'm sick. Strength or wealth to visit Darktooth. God is normal. And as long as I don't do any combat, I'm fine. Yeah, just don't fight for a couple days and you'll be peachy keen. You can spend the time exploring. It's not like that takes any stats. Yeah, I think here there's something I want to do. Yeah, human... no, it's one of these. I might make a mistake. Very hungry, still blighted. Yeah. Alright, well I'll have to hunt while sick. That's fine. Let's start with obliterating a squirrel. Screwed up. This isn't a great time to do learning strats, but like, I mean, come on, it's a squirrel. Teach me your secret, squirrel. Yeah. Secrets have been taught. Tiny Furby, smelling of trees. Alright. If it's gonna flee after 2 waits. But I'm not gonna do brace strategies because don't even need to. Okay, what does that put me up to? I'm well fed and replete, so I can just spend my last hunting session looking at something. So let's look at the small fur beast with a very pungent odor. Run away! Yeah, I'm not fighting it while sick. We are the people of 1,000,000 vertical worlds. Our claws sink into tree skin. With love, we embrace them. Our homes are protectors, our seed-giving benefactors. We are the children of those who are eloquent in their silence. Bridges between infinity below and infinity above. In their arms, across the light fingers, we dance. This is our way, the good way of the tree tails. So it's worth mentioning that not only do you gain stats for mastering animal ways, you also keep those benefits through new games, through new game cycles. You don't lose them when you die or something. So now, still sick, still a little hungry. Oh, if I'd known that, I would have eaten another squirrel or something. So let's do something like the fireflies where there's no risk. And, how about... Capture them. It is not difficult for you to capture a few of them. They hardly attempt to escape, lost within their own music. For one night, your den is lit by their display, as though you play host to the stars themselves in your small space. In the morning, you awaken to find each and every one of them are cold and silent, their lights forever dimmed. It seems their lives are brief indeed, perhaps in some way that is part of their message. You're still sick? I'm no longer sick. Okay, now let's go play with some humans. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. Human children! You're exploring the Wormwood part of the valley, staying near to the stream. The sun is particularly bold when you hear a prolonged splashing sound. It is too irregular to be water running over the rocks and too long-lasting to be a predator struggling with prey. As you approach, the oily, otherish stench of the tailless fills the air. We're stinky. These are smaller than the no-tails which you saw before. Their scents cleaner and newer, but still disturbing. They may be hatchlings of their kind. Two are play fighting, as young fur beasts sometimes do, honing their battle skills, while two more watch, emitting a whooping, barking sound. A fifth sits alone in the bank, doing something strange with its forepaw. What do you do? Attempt to communicate with the one alone on the bank. Singing into its mind is harder than you expected. The sheer oddity of its thoughts and emotions make it like trying to smell a stone underwater. Eventually, however, you feel some kind of connection, and paint a universal sigil for it to receive. Slowly, the hatchling looks up and then directly at you. It seems to be able to sense where you are from the communication. You expect it to panic or cry for help, but to your surprise it does not, instead forming a strange sigil of its own inside the connection. You smell a little fear, but it seems in control of itself. After some trial and error, you trade a few ideas. It does not seem to be able to communicate fluidly like a drac, or even a regular good beast, failing to intuit the meaning of your many sigils, which you believe are written upon every mind. When it does respond, what it does communicate is lavish. It shows you a sunrise so rife with detail that you can almost see it yourself, and a lightning storm witnessed from within a small cave. Most loudly at one point, it shows you what looks like no-tails harming each other, an image of particular importance in its mind, but you do not understand its significance. Maintaining the communication is deeply tiring for you, and the no-tail mind is full of sharp needles of hardened information and quagmires of half-dealt with fears. Eventually, several adults come to collect the hatchlings, and you are so distracted by the communication that you now have been surrounded. Just when you are about to be destroyed, though, the hatchling with whom you communicated barks at the adult about to stumble upon you, distracting it and leading it away. The hatchling has also left some shiny rocks it wore around its neck behind you. Soon the no-tails are gone and you are safe. This day seems to have bred more questions than answers. Why did the no-tail hatchling lead the adults away from you? It must have known you were dangerous, and would only become more so in time. The mind you saw during your communication was deeply other, and very difficult for you to connect with, yet there was a glimmer of something beneath the overcomplicated morass. Something like a bright stone hidden in a dark treetop at night, or a single lump of gold in the midst of a swamp. Like something good, something valuable, hidden away in the most unlikely of places. Perhaps the lone tailless were simply unlike others of its kind, or perhaps a long, long journey of understanding was begun this time. Time will tell. So in doing that, you get this. Attractive, especially in the sun's light, and the artifice by which the stones are connected is interesting. So just getting an artifact is nice. I want more of those. Give me shinies. So this just means treasure. I don't know what happens here. This is one of these on the wikis. Some of these on the wiki are just not documented, and this is one of them. Hidden outcropping of beautiful shinestone peeking through the mother rock. This particular kind, called silver, is of some worth, but you'll either need a mighty fire within or some kind of helpful tool to remove it. If only you had a special tool for this. Fireballs, yum! Gain some fire mastery at least. Alright, since I breathed fire, I'm super hungry. So let's go and go to Bun Valley and eat some more snacks or whatever. And I have 3 water now, so I might be able to It does green. Okay, yeah. I just have to punch him twice. Its flesh was so delicious, its essence so sweet, and you do not even remember eating it. You were lost in a joyful frenzy. Later, you regurgitate a few of its long, elegant tail feathers and decide to keep them as small, prismatic treasures. Alright. Since I'm full on energy now, let's do the intentional miss and start defending. Wind. Fire. Wind. Earth. And probably back to wind. Yeah, wind, fire. I'm feeling fine. Alright, let's keep bracing just for knowledge. Fire, wind. Still learning. Alright. Taking too long, so let's start fighting back. Yeah. I don't think I got all of it. But that's fine. So let's just look at it now until it flies away. Okay, it's not teaching me anything more, so I can just. Yeah, I'll just leave it alone. I got all its points. This we do know. To be beautiful is to be seen, and to be seen is to be hunted. To be sweet is to be delicious, and to be delicious is to be hunted. If you would be truly strong, be hunted, you will grow swift and clever. But if you are not willing to pay the price of beauty, in pain and fear and endless escapes, it is better to be dull and tasteless. This is our way, the good way of the Shimmerlings. Yeah, the fact that the bonuses from these, even if they're small, that they carry over between playthroughs means you want to spend a lot of time grinding them out. So I still have quite a few days left. I can do this and just, like, spend the day recuperating while exploring. You don't heal as much as if you do when you're sleeping, but, like, you get some. And it's not like you're in any danger. 4 shiny things. Yeah, I'm not allowed to investigate yet. I don't know when you learn that. So let's just do a couple, like, observation thingies. Yes. That's good. So I did this before, and last time I was admirable of them. Let's connect. What is this? Somehow you feel the beating of its rhythm, though you are too far away to do so. You see yourself, or you're seeing through its eyes. The moment hangs, suspended, and then it looks away, leading the clan deeper into the green. You know, though, that there is some connection between yourself and the noble Woodstriders. Could this be a sign, a premonition, that your fates are connected in some strange way? Could they be more than simply prey to you? Gains of mastery, and information on Woodstriders means that get enough of those. I think it takes 20 points to fully learn an animal, and every time you get information of an animal through observing it in like a cutscene, you usually get like 5 points. So that makes pretty good progress. Go back to the erudite herons. So confess you do not know the true nature of wisdom. We have been outdone, cries one. Humility is the base of all 3 paths, the common force binding all. Indeed, agrees the second, knowledge cannot be gained without a realization of one's own ignorance. Self-knowledge cannot be found without understanding one's own limitations. And emptiness cannot be discovered without a release of one's own pride and self-importance. By refusing to compete, the Drac has won, says the third. We acknowledge its superiority and will relate its victory to the air. Spreading their wings, they bow their heads in unison and then take wing. Their song echoes throughout the valley. The young Drac has wisdom. What say you? What wisdom do you have? He's so wise! Perhaps this shall bring you renown. You certainly have learned something this day about the importance of humility. Gain points. Also a minor reputation system that doesn't really matter much. Level 3 air. By spending a sun studying in your lair, you can now divine the hidden properties and values of artifacts you've collected. Excuse me. I got an itch in my throat. Just a moment. It is not gone yet. I get these weird itches in the back of my mouth sometimes, and it feels awful. A little hungry, that's fine. And I'm back to fine condition. Ugh, making gross sounds. So let's go back to this. Let us follow them into the trees. The no-tail and the Brightling go a short distance into the forest, and they start touching each other in different ways. Ultimately, it seems as though they are wrestling. No, they're hula-hooping. Although you've never known a fight to be so devoid of fear, and though the giver seems to be winning, the birther does not seem to mind at all. Strange. Eventually they stop their bizarre dance, and the giver falls asleep. Then, before your very muzzle, the Brightling birther simply disappears. No trace of it whatsoever remains, not even in scent. The feathers on your crest stand on end. There is something very odd, very unnatural going on here. You feel that you are in danger. What do you do? Try to quietly remove something from the sleeping no-tail's neck. Keeping your footfall slow and gradual, but your body light, you creep up to the no-tail's sleeping form and nibble through the strings of the Woodstrider skin, freeing the object. Taking it up in your jaws, you make a silent escape. back at the den, you find there is something odd about the object you have found. Perhaps it is valuable in some way. A lodestone. This is a curiously ordered bit of shinestone, noteworthy for its equalish lines and stern shape. But there is more to the stone than meets the eye. Your thoughts lose a bit of their sharpness when you touch it, intimating some kind of hidden magic. Need to blow my nose just a moment. Without going into it, from what I've learned, the Brightlings are weird! But I suppose you can intuit that yourself. Yeah. Still got some days left, and it only takes one day to, finish up. Alright, I never went to Ugagi's, so let's do that. You've ranged far this sun, and are returning to your lair when the dusk is suddenly split by the most beautiful sound you've ever heard. It is not the work of just one animal. Several beings are raising up in song, each of their voices distinct and important in the braided music which pours out of them. It can only be the mighty clan singers, whose music is renowned among all. These beautiful hunters are said to cultivate invisible, shining bonds between each other's souls, binding them together in clans, which are then capable of carrying out fearsome, elaborate dances of destruction, where many move with one mind, one will to be victorious in battle and in the hunt. Pausing, you listen to their music. We are the people of the far-telling song, who sing with one voice, which is many voices. To be alone in weakness, to be together is strength. Praise be to the great green, shard of the mother's being, pouring out sweetness in the crystal pure waters, and the ruby sweet essence of our honorable prey. Praise be to the prey whose flesh becomes ours, givers of life, dance partners eternal. We remember with song we were great sacrifice. Yeah, I didn't remember choosing to sacrifice, you assholes, says the bunny. Says the deer, who's been eaten ass first. Praise be to those who came before, our ancestors who learned to walk across love and violence, across one and being many, and not be split in twain. Praise be to Earth, great mother of us all, for we love her and are one in her. Hear now our song of joy. We live, we live, we live. Every voice is distant, and yet they all float together and around each other. When two strike the same note, they instantly split apart, so that each voice should always be heard, and yet each is a support and partner to every other. It is like a blessed forest, a great green of music. Learned about the clan singers. The clan singers' music is indeed wondrous, but their strange togetherness is somehow both right and wrong. Brilliant and yet a violation of the spirit of independence, of strength alone, which guides the kin. In that moment you feel... Are any of these skill checks? Disgusting! Every Drac knows that only by facing the challenges of life alone can one grow to greater strength. This is a teaching handed down from before the rise of the clan singers, indeed, before the existence of all the fur-beast people. To rely on others may be strength for the weak, but for the strong, like the Drac, it is pure weakness and limitation. By living, hunting, and ultimately facing destruction alone, the Drac hone their bodies in essence into deadly perfection, the titanic strength which makes them known as the greatest of all the children of sun and earth. Their music may be beautiful, but their way is doomed to failure. You follow an older, mightier path. Your soul will never become bonded to another. You will keep the true way. Yeah, fire mastery. Boy, they're getting close. Incidentally, if the humans find you, they take all your treasure. They don't just kill you, they take your treasure. Because you can pass down treasure to another life, but not if humans find you. Let's go to the Spoder. Talk to a spider about it. Hey, what up? The sun is still young when you come across the most fascinating lair, suspended between plants swaying gently in the morning breeze. It bars your way forward with utmost elegance. And it is circles, many circles, circles within circles, like the one song which holds earth and sun and all worlds like small thoughts, soon to be forgotten. Droplets of water hang from the structure like tiny fragile gems. At the center of it all, its spirit muted, almost scentless, rests a weaver. You know the Weaver tribe by reputation, somehow, even though you're a loner and also a newborn. Their way is old, even by the standards of the Drac. Among tiny beings, they are feared destroyers, but pose no danger at all to a great kin such as you. Your path forward, however, is obstructed by this Weaver's trap lair. Finding a way around would take effort. Not very much, but some. The easiest way is to continue through. Surely no beast of the Great Green would think twice before forging ahead. It would be madness to worry about every tiny being you encounter. What do you do? Sing to it. You extend your mind song outward, searching for the Weavers. It is very, very difficult for you to connect to its tiny consciousness. But finally, you find something at the edge of the silence. Like the Reggies from Pokemon, it speaks in Braille. So, baby, Reggie Rock. It repeats endlessly, over and over again. It hurts you somehow, and you break off the thought connection. The quiet comes as a relief. Just pass through. The layer trap sticks to your feathers and scales as you move through it, and its inhabitant springs into panic activity. The Weaver scrambles down your flank and drops onto the leafy ground. You rub your head against a nearby fern to get the sticky substance off. By the time you finish cleaning yourself, the Weaver is already beginning the lengthy process of constructing a new layer from its own flesh strings. Briefly, you wonder if its mind is complex enough to feel things such as sorrow or frustration, and whether that would render your destruction of its home any more or less of a tragedy. The Weaver gives no sign, merely continuing to build its home with silent determination. I was a jerk, so I gained fire mastery! Hooray! Yeah, they're close. Need to eat. Okay. Gotta go hunting. There's really no point, incidentally, in, doing this. Let's try hunting something here. Let's see if I can get a fish. Closer. Closer. Strike. Ah! Small feather beast. Oh, it's a heron. Got him. Successful instant kills do give you a fair amount of extra knowledge, but it's never as much as the feathered predator's flesh was bitter and stringy, making for a poor meal. However, you find yourself lost in contemplation a bit more than usual over the next few suns. Still regular hungry. Alright, well, let's try the fish again. Really want to wait for it to turn red. Or no, it only turns red when you strike. But I got it. Fish. Pride and accomplishment, like buying a loot box. The flavor of fresh water bound. It is tempting to swallow it whole, but take a few extra moments to enjoy the heady saline taste. I'm still hungry. Well, whatever. Poo to you. So for this playthrough, I'm not even going to bother to go back to the scary house. Let's try to breathe fireballs all over the silver again. Burns like a shred scale of sun himself. Loses its hard shape and you manage to harvest much of it, though some remains. Rock, 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 rock. Oh, look at all those rocks! Let's fill back up on energy. I have all of these, right? So I didn't get anything new. Yeah, and there's no one pattern for how that does. Sometimes it'll fake you out, sometimes it won't. It's not dependent on the animal, it seems. Or if it is, each animal has a couple different things it can do. Because the small scale beast is the garter snake, which I already have all the points for. Oh no, I don't. This is the small one. So let's observe until it does something. Yeah, this is the poisonous one. Earth, wind, water, earth, wind, water probably, or no, earth, water, earth, wind, water, earth, water, wind, earth. Still getting knowledge. It also hasn't injured me yet. Now it has. Still learning. Alright. Now I can murderize it. Wasn't paying attention to what it did last. Alright, it did water. So that means it's either earth or wind next. So I can do a fire. Power strike, fire flash, intimidate. I guess I'll try to eat another bird if I can. Yeah, almost all of my misses have been when I attack too early. Bad idea to just walk through the web, I just noticed, because I have to alt-tab to check chat. It's just me being a jerk, really. It's just a little spoder. Hidden among the dying heather I wait. Hidden with my fangs. It sleeps. Mightiest am I. For while others may carry destruction in their large bodies, their heavy limbs, I carry it all in my small, small mouth. With every breath I taste your end. This is our way, the good way of the Deathbite clan. many shiny rocks do I have? 24! Nice. So, I'm a little battered, well-fed and replete, decent collection of shiny things, making me feel confident. I feel good. Alright, it's coming up on the end. I don't have anything else I need to do, really. So let's go to Darktooth. Have a chat. Do you want to trade? Trade? A young kin suggests trade with a being who's seen thousands of turnings, millions of suns. Does it imagine that it could possibly have anything worth bargaining for? And yet presumption and arrogance are the enemies of wisdom. We have far more poultices than we could possibly make use of, and perhaps a young kin might find Wakeleaf useful in restoring energy. Poultices are bundles of plant sages, herbs of great power, which when applied to torn flesh hastens its mending. They are but byproducts of a recent experiment. Elders among the kin have more elegant ways of repairing their bodies. Wakeleaf heals and fuels the essence, rather than the body. Some tale is steeped in inflamed tickled water to prevent sleep and promote vigor. A kin, even a young one, could simply eat it whole to grant a burst of energy. Beware, however, it is a poor substitute for hunting, which feeds the whole self, even unto the soul. But if a young kin wishes to give shiny things for these, there may be a mutual profit. And if a young kin wishes to offer up a researched artifact for trade, we may be willing to part with shiny things, if it seems beneficial to our studies. Sing to me of subtle beings. Subtle beings are those who exist, and yet have no visible body of their own. Some, like the spirits of the Great Four, whom we call elementals, are shards of a greater truth trickling down through our reality. These are to be treated with great respect, but also caution, for the truths they sometimes possess are so powerful that they can break both mind and body. Some subtle beings are not expressions of greater powers, but merely echoes of destroyed beings, whose music can still be sensed. These are called ghosts. A ghost has neither body nor mind, cannot learn or grow. It is like a scar, through the moment of injury is long past. It remains behind to mark the sundering place. All ghosts fade away in time, but they can make particular places very unpleasant until they do. Some subtle beings are simply illusions, unliving phenomena which somehow mimic life. These are not truly beings, but sometimes even the drat can be fooled into believing they are. The others are capable of creating such things, woven of light and sound but without substance, and so they are counted as subtle beings, but are more accurately thought of as false rather than subtle. Finally, there are beings who swarm unseen about us, tinier than even the tiniest of tiny beings. They cause various effects. Some are harmless, and some bring illness and unrest. They have many names, though they are commonly known as diseases. Some less knowledgeable beings may speak of an illness brought about by a subtle being, but in truth it was brought about by beings so small that nothing could be done to stop them. Know which kind of subtle being you face, and proceed accordingly. Such is my song to a young kin. Tell me about the no-tails. The no-tails. The tailless, seed of the others, the broken custodians. They are bearers of many blessings and many curses. Casually, they shatter the great laws by which all beasts are bound, and many of our relations have been enslaved or destroyed, even to the last one by them. Their music is strange, their deeds unfathomable, unless their secret is known. Such a secret cannot be grasped by your incipient mind. A mere hatchling must not seek to test itself against their flying claws and stone fangs. Destruction would surely follow. In turnings to come, a young drac may better understand their powers, and perhaps become worthy of dealing with them, for good or ill. But this is neither the time nor place for that. A wise hatchling would leave Heartbone Valley before the no-tails discover it. A foolish one would tarry too long, losing its treasures at least, and perhaps even its existence. Only the great green, where the tailless fear to tread, may one survive long enough to see many turnings. Such is my song to a young kin. Sing of the others. The myriad tribe of fur, feather, and scale, all of those who adhere to the true way of destruction and creation, whose minds are clean and pure, these are the good beasts, offspring of earth and sun. A wise kin would respect them all, from the least to the greatest, for though they are of less power than we, they are our relations, and their music is in harmony. The others are those whose music is dissonant, whose ways are strange because they are no longer, or perhaps have never been, children of the great giver above and the great birther below. They violate the ancient ways, hunting without destroying and destroying without hunting. They are of several kinds, but they always carry a mark of their other nature. A lack of such things as good beasts have, such as feathers, fur, scales, or even tails. If one is unfortunate enough to encounter one, a wise drac would be cautious and never presume to know their minds or their strength. It was the others who, turnings beyond turnings ago, overthrew the dominion of the dragon and ended the Golden Age. When you have shed your copper birth skin and have more feathers than your crest, perhaps you will be worthy to know of the fall, and how the others stifled the great music of our people until but a humming whisper remained. Until such knowledge is gained, only a most foolish hatchling would dare to meddle in the affairs of the others, such as my song to a young kin. Alright, I already read the elements last time. That just gives a bunch of experience. The greatest being in the one song. The stars are her scales. Okay. Bright beings. Though not wholly ignorant of them, we know not enough of the ones you call brightlings to give counsel. I think I read this before. How many shiny things do I have left? 15. There's still plenty. Obstinate stone. And now I can look at it. Special kind of stone called a diamond. It is exceptionally hard and difficult to destroy. Even the sharpest metals cannot scratch it. It is highly prized by the others for some reason. It is worth 50 shiny things in trade. Rocks, 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 rocks. Now let's research the other two. And now let's see what they do. Something called a magnet. It attracts purified shinestone to itself and is attuned with Earth's own mighty yet invisible spirit. If used in a certain way, it indicates the coldward direction. Perhaps it may be useful for something or for finding your way if you get lost. It is worth 15 pieces. Amazingly, the stones are made out of the essence of trees, shed when even the drac were young. It seems that Earth does indeed take all things back into herself with time, even turning things to stone with her magic. And I'll buy a healing poultice. And let's see. I have lots of rocks. I have my other things. Rocks are good. Lots of rocks. The Crystal Fang, incidentally, if researched, gives you 200 rocks. Quite large for a kid of your age, igniting your pride and increasing your elemental masteries. Nice. Okay. So there's one thing I want to do before leaving, and that's this guy. Small pure waters are falling from the sky. You keep to the shadows of the trees and veil yourself in the brush to keep it as dry as you can. Few beasts are out in such weather, hiding within their homes, but you are surprised to find a mid-sized fur beast standing brazenly out in the open. It is a lumberkin, one of the people renowned for tenacity and ferocity even in the face of much larger foes. It calls you out with a strange song. Far from frostward fields fares this flame-souled fur beast, a warrior through age weak and winter of wars. The mind wafts forth the wind wafts forth waves of Dratkin sent wayward, a final fight foretelling, fame and fortune finding. Man, this is hard to read. It's good, but it's hard to read. To a true fighting soul, treasures too I shall tender. Come and bring claw against claw, cruelly clashing. The lumberkin's soul blazes as if eager to escape from the narrow confines of its aging and scarred body. What will he do? Gauge his strength. It's a lot higher fire than me. but I'm better than it at everything else. Its age seems to be affecting it, making it less hardy and slower than its kin, but its strength rivals that of creatures many times its size. Ask. At last dance of destruction with a daring drac, so they will sing of it in the star home. The den of the Dotty, last lair of the lumberkin. Unashamed shall I stand with the souls of the strong, power to pour upon my proud people, from the burrow of the bold beyond all beginnings. There will be no escape. Do not choose this lightly. Let's go! Let me feel the flame of the fire foretold. Bathe me in a blood at last benediction. Get out, retreat from this fight. Stand with pride and fight with honor. Start with the water. You deal severe damage to the lumberkin. Champa. Nailed it! Easy, every time. It fought savagely to the end of 2 turns. You honestly had no idea that an aged lumberkin could be such a skilled warrior. As its last breath rattles forth, it turns its bloodied eye upon you with a look of what can only be called true happiness. The lumberkin are either completely mad or wholly glorious. Perhaps they are both. Digging in its nearby den, you unearth something interesting. It is a stone the dark color of freshly spilled blood. Despite a thorough search, you find nothing else. Could it have been lying about the presence of 2 treasures here? Bloodstone. Makes you strong and hungry. That night you have a strange dream. Many fur beasts, their bodies made of stars, are looking down on you from the vaulted dome of the sky. One whose eyes burn with a holy fire sings to you before it fades. Well done, young warrior, bear now my blessing. Freed from my form, I fly to my fate, embraced by the bold bygone, warriors of the one song. My spirit knows solace. My heart finds its home. When you wake, you feel a strange pleasure, as if you passed a test you did not know existed. Perhaps this was a rare true dream, or perhaps you simply feel more confident. But either way, the fire within burns brighter. Land of the Lumberkins. And you get a Tower Wheel card. These also transfer between playthroughs. The Strength. The truly strong and victorious even in defeat. Bonus to fire and earth. Bold brethren of battle, ferociously feeding fire within. Blazing essence bound tightly to our burly bodies. Destruction dares not draw near. Life is precious, let none pry it from you but for a price paid in pain and persistence. Free from fear, 2 tales alone can be told. Victory of the void, lone ways of the worthy. This is our way, the good way of the lumberkin. Alright, now it is time to get out of here. 4th level fire. Made to now charge at enemies, dealing high physical damage. However, this reckless maneuver may throw you off balance, greatly reducing your fire attribute for a time. And gain some earth. You now gain health from a successful hunt, and resting men's injuries and sickness, heal sickness twice as quickly. Okay, off to the Great Green. That was very profitable. I'm ready. I read this all last time, and then I was like, maybe not, and then I died to mushroom. Gobble this all up. You return to your den and swallow up your treasures. You know that they are mere trinkets compared to the wonders that await discovery and your true home to be. But they represent the trials, the precious failures and successes from which you first learned, and you will regurgitate them when you have found your lair within the Great Green. Pausing, you take one last look at the tiny den, already too small, which was your first home outside the chamber. It will become a haven for other good beasts, and you begrudge them not. You have made up your mind, and this land is no longer your home. As you return to the boundary and take a single step across, your feathers rise instinctively. The spirit of the Great Green is watching you, judging you. It is not alone in doing so. Yeah! Scraw! A coppery mass lunges at you from behind a nearby tree. You narrowly avoid being hit by a raking talon. Yeah, look at these stats, bro. You want to screw with this? The attacker is a true kin, and a hatchling as you are. From its scent, it is obviously fruit of the same creator. One of its rear legs is warped, withered and inward turned by some cruel trick of the One Song. You decide to call the young kin Twist. It draws itself into as much of the traditional posture of challenge as it can and hisses at you. Invader! Defiler! Turn back, the heart of the great green is mine. I alone am worthy to inherit the prey-ripe realm of my creator, for the land for which it suffered, for which it was destroyed. My justice shall descend upon all who enter as surely and inexorably as the fall of night. Begone, or feel my wrath. Apparently Twist has claimed the Great Green, and quite recently at that. It has not properly scent marked the border, nor does its essence yet creep through the soil or sing through the wind, as it does when land recognizes a new monarch. I challenge it. Let it be so. I will show you the strength of mind which has overcome my every obstacle. There can be no hatchling among the kin who is more clever than I. As challenged, it is my right to set the terms. If you can answer 2 riddles, one after the other, I shall withdraw forever. Savor that fantasy while you can. You will not be victorious. Let the mind challenge begin. Give me food and I shall thrive. Give me water and I shall die. What am I? Fire. Sun and moon may rest upon me, yet I am not burdened at all. I have no phase, but when I dance I sing. Though I am not your home, still you may dwell in me for a time. But stay not too long, what am I? Though I am not your home, still you may dwell in me for a time. Sun and moon may rest upon me. Space? When I dance, I sing. Though I am not your home, you may dwell in me for a time. Sleep? Dreams? Can I have a multiple choice? Egg? Dwell in me for a time, not your home, don't stay too long. Water? Yeah, it's gotta be water. The sun and moon reflect off it. Yep. You could be in there, but if you stay, you'll drown. And when water flows, it sounds nice. You are victorious. Your superiority proven, Twist is forced to slither away in search of a new home. With so little land unclaimed in this world and weighed down by both youth and deformity, its chances are slim. But such is the good way of the Dratkin. The strong survive and the weak perish. Nothing now stands in your way. It's time to cross the threshold. With essence ablaze, you enter this realm, this place of magic, this setting for the grand adventure which will be your life. The great green shall belong to you, and you shall belong to it. So it is sung by the music in your heart. Yeah, get owned, nerd. I solved your riddle! Following custom, you journey for 5 full suns after leaving Heartbone Valley. Your new home must not be too close to Darktooth's. You will need a good and wide hunting ground, and the Elder's power should not be slighted. You are gloriously alone. There is no trace of the No-Tails here, nor has there ever been. Their kind has never marred the heart of the Great Green, the wild forest primeval. This turning of earth draws to a close. The colder wind ruffles your feathers. The trees are shedding, their scales falling around you in golden tribute. A bone-deep fatigue sets in. Your first great sleep looms. You must find a lair to claim and a place to lay your body and your treasure. One crisp sun, you see it. A high swell of earth's flesh, a place of sight and safety. It is high enough to survey the land around it with impunity, yet low enough to allow easy access for a young kin such as yourself who cannot tread the air. Near the top of the great hill, you find a source of blessed water murmuring down the stones into a small pool. The earth beside it has been hollowed by some good beast in times now gone. It will take time, but you may be able to expand it into a proper lair. Your weary paws are unwilling to move from this place, and you drink deeply from the cool, clear water before going to sleep inside the shelter, hoping for a sign that this hilltop refuge is meant to become yours. Egg shape. As you sleep, you dream. Something is touching you lightly, so lightly that it is only a touch of soul, but you smell its mighty essence around you, over you. It is greater than the greatest kin, and yet less than the least, devoid of a body, and yet it holds your entire being within itself. It cradles you in a wordless song, which is the wind and the grass and the flowing waters. The trees sing prayers to it in reverent creaks and rustles. It remains with you for a time, and then silently withdraws, your innermost being reaching after it as it passed from you. Well, that was weird. Scree! When you awaken, you know in your core that the soul of this land, the spirit wood, heart of the great green, has accepted your presence here. Your essence and mind are in agreement. This land shall become yours. All that remains is to announce your claim to the other kin and hope they do not challenge it. After set marking the surrounding regions, pee on everything! That tree, pee on it. That river, pee in it. That rock, peed on. You lift up your forepaws from the ground and spread your wings, reaching out with voice in mind. You sing the traditional song claiming. Here I stand under sun's gaze, my claws firmly rooted in the land. In the name of air, fire, water, and earth, I take this land unto myself. Its flesh is my flesh, and its essence my essence. All good beasts here I claim as my prey, source of my life. The nearby elk are going, what? Me? Nah, dog. All good beasts here I claim as my prey, source of my life. All treasures here I name unto myself. So it is sung, and so it may be. Only the wind answers. As the sun fades with no challenges nor replies from any other kin, this land is now yours by right, and not a moment too soon. Your first great sleep is nearly upon you. You dig out a smaller chamber within the cave opening atop the hill and lay your body down within it. Your mind is slowly sliding downwards into a warm void. With the last of your strength, you seal over the chamber, and the darkness swallows you. Bedtime. Part 2. For the structure that we raise, time is with materials filled, our todays and yesterdays, are the blocks with which we build. As alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye sees the world as one vast plain, and one boundless reach of sky. H.W. Longfellow. Longfellow Deeds. Longfellow's not a real name. There are no measures within the great sleep. You have become unacquainted with time. After the beyond long absence, your mind begins to drip back into your body. A drop per moon, per sun, per turning, you cannot be sure. Eventually, you can feel your flanks moving with each slow breath, your limbs, your scales, your feathers. When you at last feel your eyes again, you open them to darkness. Briefly, you see nothing, but it is still a minor victory. Suns later, you guess, you are able to drag your claws against the packed wall of dirt sealing you in. You are so weak that you fear you may die here. At last, however, you can see signs of light. You are desperately thirsty and so hungry you cannot even feel your core, but you have survived your first great sleep. You widen the gap and squeeze your body out through it, surprised at the difficulty. What a handsome young man. The reason soon becomes clear. You have shed the short limbs and coppery armor of infancy for more colorful coverings on a larger, sleeker frame. It is almost like having a brand new body, but you have left your old life in Heartbone Valley behind completely. The Great Four have put their mark upon you as well. Your armor and feathers have taken the color of the elements which you have favored. Already you are unique, different from all the other Drac. The sight of your current self fills you with pride. Quite a long time must have passed, but you have endured. The warming earth below your paws, the air flowing over the hilltop, and even the water which you now drink all taste of adventure. Your world has grown larger. This land, the Spirit Wood, is greater than Heartbone Valley. As you explore and claim its treasures, you will be tested in new ways. With each success and failure, you will learn and grow, and be able to take on greater challenges. Prey here is more diverse, and also more dangerous. Tiny creatures can no longer sustain you. Tree tails and long ears are too small to this new body, and you must seek larger prey. In time, you will also have to deal with other Drekkin. Challengers may attempt to take your lands from you at any time, and the nearby territories have masters of their own. You are still too young to challenge them for their lands, should you desire them, but not too young to learn their ways and truths. Setward from your lair, you can barely make out the great tree where rests the spirit of the Great Green. It has accepted your presence, but if you wish to deepen your relationship with it, you must find a way to its home. Social link, start. Social link, go. Great Green, you're really pretty, and I want to be your friend. The No-Tails have a presence in the first forest. Have no presence in the first forest. Your time here is limited only by your own growth and your ability to protect against those kin who would take it from you. Your infancy is over, and your adolescence has begun. Explore, grow strong, and find treasure. It is only by learning that you will gather the power necessary to become great. I'm stumped. That makes sense. Beyond all the things. A new sun has risen. Your song of life continues. You are very hungry. Oh boy, I could really use a bite to eat. Alright, we start with a hunt. Yeah, stats are the same. Didn't gain any stats for getting older. There are several scents in the air. Deathbite tail beast, moderately sized feather beast with a predatory scent. Small feather beast smelling the trees. The wind has spoken to your nose and ears, bringing tidings of a white black in the area. Its scent is still free from the pungent smell of fear or even alertness. Yeah, that's not much food. But it's a start. Tongue informs you that you have been better off not hunting this contrary feather beast, but as you slowly absorb its flesh into yourself, an image comes unbidden into your mind. 5 silver nuggets, 6 golden ones side by side, and 7. 7 what? Something important. A little energy. A crunch. 1 bite. Let's go after the death bite. Yeah, there's actually a fair amount of give once the rings overlap when you can hit them. So it's better to try to be late than be early. Still hungry. Moderately sized feather beast. Oh, an owl. A night sky claw in the breeze. Bye. So I need something better than this place. Things here are little. But at least very hungry is over. I need to make sure not to overhunt that region. The shallow river's several tendrils give this region its name, the Four Tails. It is a healthy and diverse area with deep woodlands between bright hills, which are beginning to brown as they approach the Risewood Moor. Surely there is something interesting to find here. We're not food. Need food. This one. Oh, good. The sacred cathedral. Oh no, that's not food. Are said to be as old as the Great Green itself. It is known to all as the home of the Spirit of the Green. Its name is revered even by the Drak, as the basis of the name for your entire territory. Only a fool would enter this area of the Sacred Glen with anything but utmost respect and trepidation. Am I back to very hungry yet? No. So I can try exploring more. I mean, River Valley, or a delta seems like a good place to hunt, right? Piggly Wigglies. The shallow river becomes two here, and the local good beasts often call this area the Split. The coldward edge of the Great Green is pleasant and fertile for the most part, but is also the part of your domain closest to the Tailless Lands. Though they are still quite far away, you may seek your fortune here with little fear. Yeah, back to very hungry. Gotta go to that first hunting ground then, probably. Yeah, it's only 2, though. Yeah, it's not ideal. But I need food. Large fur beast. I gotta go big. Oh, that's a bear. Missed. Alright, here we go. I mean, I assume, right, it'll do fire. Whoa. It defends. Ah, it ran away! Jerk! Let's try again. Jerks. Bats. That's a lot of bats. Turning from an outing, you stop short of entering your lair. There's a potent smell wafting from the cave, gray, green, and odious. Cautiously, you step inside. Oh, I'm almost dead. And looking up, you realize the ceiling is moving, little waves rippling across the surface. The cave is full of featherless flying furbeasts, shriekers, thousands of them. They sing impossibly high songs to each other in a mesh of sound which tickles your mind. Despite their having been here only a short time, their leavings cover the floor. Make a meal of it. Cora murmurs a familiar song. You are hungry. Shriekers are bony and their wings do not taste good. The dark essence within is quite sweet. You've never seen so many shriekers at one time. There should be enough here for many feedings. The shriekers are more capable of self-defense than you might have thought, swarming your head and biting at you, but your swiftness and savagery win the day. Most fly away when they realize you are too great a foe, even for all of them together, but you feast upon more than a few. When you emerge from your acclaimed lair, you are more covered in their leavings than you would like, but you have a belly full of sweet shrieker essence. Oof. That's probably not good for you, but I needed food. I'm well fed. Okay. I will deal with sickness when it comes, as it'll probably hit me. I need to find another hunting ground now. Piggly Wigglies! The zone has been clearly scent marked as the territory of the clan singers, predatory furbeasts who fill the green with their hymns. They have a reputation for courage and honor, despite the fact that they hunt in groups, which some see as cheating. Those jerks! How dare they! Their primary prey are the stocky tusk snort people, whom you may also hunt here in the Packlands. I'm looking for any evidence that I might be sick. Because guano is very dangerous to humans. It carries a... Is it a parasite or a fungus? I guess it doesn't really matter. That's disastrously toxic to humans. And to say nothing of... bats. To say nothing of... perhaps making them into a syrup. This came out before the end times. Let's talk about the goggies. Lots of goggies here. One goggie. Oh, there's more goggies in the distance. And a dandelion. While exploring your lands, you come across a young warrior of the Clansinger people. It is alone, and unlike most of its kind, when it senses you, it does not sing to gather its clan. Its body language is cautious, yet respectful. It seems to be leaving its homelands, though you have heard that the Clansingers value their lands and family above all. What will you do? Hey, what up? You wordlessly hail the good beast with a plain unhidden approach. It stops, waiting for you to draw near. There is only a tiny hint of fear in its scent. I am seeks through the boughs. What business has one of the ancient kin with a lone Clansinger? What will you do? Ask about the Goggies. The Clansingers are proud children of earth and sun. We have knowledge of a great truth. Many can become one. We join together to hunt greater prey, as all know. Even the great grazers are not safe from us when we see with many eyes, hear with many ears, and strike with many fangs. When we succeed, we celebrate with crystal pure song and sleep drunk with warm flesh. But the truth of the many in one goes beyond this. We form bonds with each other in which new essence is created. The spirit of the clan, each clan, has a different spirit, bound by love and defined by the wisdom of its members. From birth we are taught not only to survive, but to love our clan, to love our prey, to love rich earth and clear night with the scent of our creators. Our people are found all over the Great Mother's body, and our song echoes from every green, more proof that we are more beloved of earth than can ever be given. Why are you leaving? I am loved by my wise birther creator and bold giver creator, and safe in the embrace of my clan. This land is rich and good. Few indeed would leave such wealth. However, it is the way of the Clansingers that only the worthy may do the dance of creation. Only the mighty birther and the mightiest giver may join together to make the future. In this way, we pass down strength to those who come after us. The noble desire to create has arisen within me, and I am related to the rest of the clan. I must seek out a stranger whose heart I will hunt, and who will hunt mine, and we shall become one, forging a new clan and bringing the song to my people to new lands. Most are content to live and die in their birth clan, but to bravely enter the unknown is the price one must pay if one wishes to pass on their essence. I will create, or I will perish. So I have sworn, and sundered the bonds of my birth clan. I am cold and alone now, but I have chosen this path, and will walk it with sure paws and clear eyes. You know of any treasure, any loot? Oh, indeed, I know of many treasures. My creators, splits the night and fragrant spirit, are treasures to me. My clanmates, each of them, I treasure in my heart, and I will never forget. No, I'm at shiny rocks. The hill down where I was born is a treasure. The prey I have consumed were all treasures, and this land is a treasure. I hold them all within me, and they can never be lost or taken. It is sung that the kin seek strange treasures, which cannot show love and which can be stolen away, yet are somehow valuable. If you seek such things, great kin, I know of none. Get owned. Your treacherous yet effective plan is a success. Before it can even react, you have dealt it a grievous wound. As the dance of destruction begins, you have a sizable advantage. Get owned. Oh no. Got him. It was a prank. While not particularly sweet or savory, the singer's flesh burns pleasantly in your core. You feel strengthened and invigorated after consuming such a noble good beast. I wonder how that guy got on with finding a new mate. As he dies 50 feet from our pack. Getting bonus fire. Let's get some treasures. Especially now that I have some extra fire, I might be able to mine them more effectively. Here, where Earth begins to rise skyward in browning folds, you make an interesting discovery. Several large stones are birthing glistening progeny. They burn softly with a color that reminds you of sun. Perhaps Earth longs for him, and made these in her yearning. These are not metallic shine stones, but gems, and will not be melted by your breath. Extracting them from stones will take much time and care, but such shiny things as these would be highly prized by any kin. Only had a special tool. Reliable, honorable stone, you were taught in the chamber. You would like now to add stubborn to that list of attributes. It is positively scandalous how it refuses to give in and let go of these treasures. That anything should be harder than a Dratkin's claws and teeth seems like a failure of order within the one song. Spending the better part of an entire sun trying to wrestle treasure from the boulders is so consternating that you occasionally have to stop what you are doing and roar across the moor in pure frustration. By sun's end, you have gained some new wealth to show for your trouble, and also 2 broken teeth. New ones will grow during your next great sleep, but for now... Ouch! Whoops. Give me... shinies! Oh, shiny! My stats are still all the same, so whatever. Get owned, rocks. Oh. $58. Nice. Yeah. I just wanted to see how many rocks I had. Well. Let's look at this headless dude, I guess. Oh, I know of this one. I've heard of this event. On this new sun, the great green takes you to an ancient tree, large in stature and rife with feather beast and fur beast. As you approach, a tree tail sings to you for aid with a frantic song. They mar, they break the main. They break, they maim, scarring the skin of our sacred home, feasting upon the tiny children of the green, the feather beasts, the bark borers, the defilers. We struggle to defend our sacred tree from these ruinous invaders, but the fire of destruction lives within you, great kin. Aid us now, destroy the bark borers. We will pay in shiny stones. Before you have time to decide, a bark borer sings out as well, its song full of garnet frustration. They starve us, drive us from our prey, zealots, raving madness and righteousness, the fur beasts, the tree tails, the fanatics. We struggle to survive in the midst of their fervor, but the gift of destruction is yours to bestow, O kin. Aid us now, destroy the tree tails, we will repay you with knowledge, for we are unbound and we have gathered small secrets to ourselves. So this is, the King of Solomon dispute. 2 people want a child, and you're like, well, I'll cut the child in half then. I'll destroy the tree itself. Hear me now, lesser beast. This kin has no time for petty quarrels. If this flame matures, the great tree falls, and your arduous interruptions with it. Losing the tree is in the interest of neither party, and their frustration with each other is quelled by their fear. As you listen, their songs become more harmonious, unified in apologizing for disturbing you with their foolish interests and begging you not to destroy their livelihood, promising to share the tree with each other only if you will show mercy. So you can still destroy the tree. You can just be like, you waste my time. Alright, I'll spare the tree. As you allow the fire seed to move slowly back down your long neck and into your gullet, the beastlings reach a quick consensus. The tree tails will use their gentler paws to collect food for the bark borers. This way the tree may stay healthy and the bark borers fed. Having brought peace through the shadow of destruction, you continue on your way with dignity and pride. You have gained no treasure, but your wise resolution of the dispute will not go unnoticed by others. What a cool guy. No, it goes up in flames, jerks! The dreaming, the boundary between what is and what be. You may now make use of lucid dreaming with greater effect and a longer duration. And wind. Now roar at your opponents in battle. This deals a small amount of non-physical damage, may overload their senses reducing their water affinity, which is not useful. But just having more stats is useful. Piggly Wigglies. Yeah, well fed. Don't need to go and do things right now. Oop. In your wanderings, you have come across a clan of tusk snorts. In accordance with their way, all the adults are birthers. Givers are exiled once they come of age, doomed to wander alone, and they are led by the eldest, who has overcome many trials, birthed many young, and seen many turnings. This group is slightly larger than usual and seems to have some purpose. Noses to the ground, they sing squawking, ruffing songs, occasionally releasing scents which are a language unto themselves. Their hatchlings shadow them, occasionally play fighting with each other or investigating new smells. They have not yet detected your presence, but their legendary olfactory capabilities leave little doubt that they soon will. What is your will? Let's talk. You allow yourself to be detected and approach, holding your body in such a way as to make it clear you are not hunting. Nevertheless, the birthers gather together, herding the hatchlings towards the center for protection and forming a defensive phalanx. And then you breathe fire all over them. Blah, blah, blah. Their eldest, however, releases soothing odors, and with a series of reassuring grunts to its fellow, opens its mind to you. When you inquire as to their purpose here, you receive the following reply. We seek the flavor, blessing, soft, black, and sweet. Dark, savory fungoids brooding with Great Mother's flesh. Only tusk snort noses are so keen, so refined as to scent them. Great honor shall be bestowed upon the one who finds the most, for it is the fungal festival, the yearly truffle hunt. I'm gonna watch. Slowly and plainly, so as not to startle them, you climb to a nearby knoll and settle down, wrapping your tail around a tree and yawning, announcing with universal body language your intent to simply observe. Satisfied, the eldest returns to the bloodless hunt along with its clanmates. The mushrooms say, "It's not bloodless at all, jerks!" The tusk snorts are known far and wide for their keen noses, and you learn much about scenting by observing their techniques. You note how they close their eyes when finding a scent, to focus their minds on just the one sense. At times, they open their mouths and breathe through mouth and nose simultaneously, adding taste to smell in order to find some nuance of odor. Eventually, one of them finds enough of the dark fungus balls to be declared the victor. Even from your perch, you can smell the truffles, which emit veritable sonatas of aroma outward in circles. After they are devoured, the tusk snorts bless the finder with congratulatory songs, scent mark the area to commemorate the event, and continue onwards. You, for your part, have learned something about the tusk snorts, and more importantly, how to better sense hard-to-find objects in your environment. Large amount of water mastery. Well fed and well healthed. Let's keep moving. All right, let's go talk Great Green. What do you want to say? Yo, Greenie boy! You've been here before, and yet you have never been here. The place beckons to you, and yet it also terrifies you. For you have come to the old tree, lair of the spirit of the Great Green, in whose honor they call your part of the Great Green the Spirit Wood. Even the greatest of kin would not enter this place lightly, but still a corner of your soul longs to cross over the boundary to what is, from what is to... Dare you approach, flesh-clad and temporary as you are? No, maybe not. Ooh, I called it a little hot spring. On this colder sun's journey, you've come across a small rocky spring. The water is surprisingly warm and clear, allowing you to see many stones at the bottom. Wisps of steam curl upward from the surface. It all seems deeply inviting, as you dip your forepaw in tentatively, thinking to wash your body in the shallow pool. As you touch the water, you instantly feel another presence. Feathers puffing outward in surprise, you quickly crane your long neck from side to side, looking for some hidden beast, but you find nothing. Next, you turn to the spring, and you feel a faint ruby-tinged presence lying below the stones. In its center, you can see the shimmer of heat. Gradually, you realize that this is a subtle being, a spirit of some kind, but it is far weaker than anything you've encountered before, resting just on the edge of perception. It reaches out to you with its mind song, which is gentle and slow. "O little kin, you please me greatly, casting your visage upon my surface, touching my body with yours. I have embraced many of your people, proud and powerful, grand and wise. These waters have warmed many in times now forgotten. Black burns before they were sun-blessed, tail beasts before they sacrificed their limbs. Even before the Drac were the Drac, here was I was here. Rest within me and share my gift. Touch! You lower yourself into the water. The sensation of warmth flows over your armor and between your digits. As you enter, the spirit's voice grows slightly in power, and images trickle into your mind. The touch of bodies great and small have I known. Minds deep and shallow have opened to my song. If proven strong of will and heart, I gave my fire to these burning champions. Long have I watched the elements flow, taken up by solid beings. Long have I given myself to new expressions of the all. First I was a blazing vein of earth, red blood of the great birther given mind. Then I was a boiling lake, dancing with hot air joy from below. Now, with so much given, I am but the memory of flame, a warm puddle. I am dying. But one more turning, the spring will forever cool, and I will be gone. O great kin, I will provide this last warmth, for it is all I have left. Take it, and live, and remember. Whoa, that's a lot of stamina. A strange feeling arises within your breast, something difficult to describe. A desire to not let this beautiful being fade away without one last dance comes upon you. Is this the mysterious force called compassion? It is simultaneously wonderful and sorrowful. You close your eyes and focus your inner fire, bobbing your head several times to call up more fire seed. And then you dip your muzzle below the waterline and breathe it into the water-heated stones. In your mind you envision life and power flowing out of you and into the dying spirit. Each stone begins to grow brighter and brighter, and tiny pockets of superheated air form on their surfaces. You continue, breathing again and again until your vision swims and your tail quivers with exhaustion. And still you breathe your own energy outward as fire, inspired to move beyond your limits for the sake of this ancient giving spirit. Finally, the spring is not merely warm, but truly hot, bubbling constantly of its own power. Satisfied, you raise your head proudly above the water and project a soothing mind song. Fear not, O spirit, I will carry on your legacy. My flames will bring warmth, my song will bring order. I will show this world your passion. I will carry your heat in my core and my essence. Dance now as in the past, one last time, so that you may know joy before the great silence. At this, the spirit's aura grows slowly, sweeping over you, holding you within it. You see the good beasts which came before and were found worthy, carrying away a sacred fire in their hearts. Blaze tails, lumberkin, clan singers, kin, even ancient beings for which you cannot even imagine a name. And at last you see yourself among them, for you have proven yourself worthy. The spirit dances, singing a boiling song, reveling in the joy of existence. Eventually, the bubbling slows down and the heat is gradually absorbed by earth and air. At last the spirit sings. Last of the champions, I entrust you with my truth. Give purpose to those with life. Give fire to those without. There is an azure flame, a hidden harmony between fire and water. Sun and earth are one in you, and they share their true essence. May you know this and remember yourself. With this final gift, I die. May you be blessed. As the spirit feeds you its power, you feel the waters around you grow colder. As the final speck of spirit flame graces your armored body, a chill wind flows across your exposed limbs. Had to blow my nose. The silence. The silence. It is time to carry on your journey, but as you push yourself into an upright stance, your forepaw brushes up against a stone, and you feel a power within it. There's something sleeping within this stone, perhaps. Sleepy stone. It looks common, but touching it makes you feel deeply at peace. Now, did that make me hungry? Just a bit. Alright, let's keep exploring. The river's edge area is the name often given to the land near the Wormwood bank of the shallow river, the largest body of fresh water in the Great Green. The meadows here are home to great grazers, which are excellent to eat but very strong. You also smell the proximity of another kin. Perhaps a visit to its territory on the Coldwood bank may be in order. Hey, what up, my homie? You like riddles? Yeah, definitely need to eat. Time to eat some Piggly Wigglies. You've caught the scent of a tusk snort hatchling on the breeze. Got him. I resisted the feint. So tender, so sweet. Your feathers tremble and your tail curls with joy as you consume the hatchling tusk snort's body. This is a delicacy indeed. Where does that put me? Well fed and replete. Another white black. Observe it a few times. And he got away. Whoa, Big Mama Piggy. Or Daddy Piggy. The taste of tusk snort giver essence is upon the air. It cannot escape. Oh, it's big! Oh, ouchies. Did I win? Ouch! Oh, I got pigged! I got right pigged on. Your agony fades, replaced by the familiar scent of earth and sounds of air and water outside your lair. With a sigh of relief, you realize that the tragedy you experienced was merely a dream. You're safe for now. Okay. No big piggies. Got it. Not ready for big piggies yet. Yeah, it's the same choices. Two observes, just to get some knowledge. And yum 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 yum. Alright, let's keep hunting the buddies. Two observations and strike. Got him again. Boars are really not to be traveled with. They're serious. They're serious guys. Alright, let's try to get to the burb again. Let's see. Yeah, Dance of Destruction. Let's see if I can get it to just attack me. Yeah. Yeah, learning. Learning. Magpie's like, jerk! How dare you! Still gaining knowledge. Still gaining knowledge. Still gaining knowledge. Still gaining knowledge. It has wounded me. Okay. It pecks at me for like 5 minutes and then I'm just like, chomp! And eating it healed me. We are the people of the open senses, tasting scents in the air beyond the dreams of others. We smell what is hidden below the earth's rich skin, and become one with it, tasting the joy of life. Life and death we face with a warrior soul, unyielding to despair. When seasoned with courage and the heart and love for the family, all of the world is a feast. This is our way, the good way of the Tusk Snorts. And you, seasoned with a barbecue rub, are delicious. 1 for sorrow. 2 for joy. 3 for a girl. 4 for a boy. 5 for silver. 6 for gold. And 7 for a secret. Never to be told. Never, never. Never to be told. Do not questions taste best in the absence of answers. Such is our way. The way of 7. The way of the white black. Alright, that hunt went much better. High on stamina, body is pristine, well-fed and replete, decent collection of shiny things. Let's get some more. Over here. Hopefully this one won't break my teeth. A brief but harsh bout of rain drives you into a small cave while exploring the sacred vale. Still don't like rain. We're actually a cat. At first it appears unremarkable, but then you discover it is the home to rosy treasure. The walls are marbled with purple-red gem crust. It sleeps in sheets nestled in a bed of ages. It is too infatuated with the stone to be parted by your claws and teeth, however. You will need some way of coaxing it forth if you wish to add it to your trove. If only you had a special tool for this. You know, just leave it. Let's go talk to this guy. I think I know who this is. This should be many times burnt. Following the shallow river which runs through the spirit wood of the Great Blue, you come across a clearly and frequently marked scent boundary. One of the kin claims this green and pleasant land as its territory, known as the River Woods for its harmonious combination of plants and fresh, clean water. Plants of every kind are abundant here, and beasts as well. Hunting here would probably be very easy, but to hunt in another kin's territory without first announcing oneself would be a breach of custom. Your song has barely echoed through the trees when a young adult kin appears. It is one of your own Emerald clan, and a rather stunning specimen. Alright, it's not many times burnt. I am the arranger of proper order. My correctness shines unabated. It pauses briefly to smooth out its chest feathers, making sure none are out of place, and it preens its crest before continuing. I am the putters of things in place, one who remembers forgotten distances. I am the lord and keeper of the Riverwood, preserver of the perfect domain. The kin seems rather proud of its custodianship of the region. In your mind, you name it Warden. It picks through its feathers on its right wing, examining them as it waits for you to state your business. What about the no-tails? Those filthy, degenerate other spawn, it huffs, lashing its tail back and forth. They creep about the periphery of my lands and disturb my order. I have made certain that none who enter my territory leave alive. They do not belong here, and as long as they remain, order is threatened. Their pollution, their chaos is inextricable from their natures. In the end, however, they are nothing but other spawn and easily destroyed. Such pitiful, weak, twisted things, they are not worth another moment of consideration. We defile our songs merely by thinking about those disgusting droppings of the defilers of long ago. Hey, you look good! Preens itself. This body is indeed superior, but still maddeningly imperfect. This talon is slightly shorter than its mate on my other forepaw, and the color of this feather on my breast is off by a fraction of a shade from what it should be, and those are not all. Still, I move towards perfection. My flaws are fewer than they were. Eventually, I shall attain it. Before I respond, answer. What defines beauty? Order. A sensible response. Have you seen the stars in the night sky? Some are bright and some dim, but they all have their place. Their dance is so perfect that it becomes fixed, a moving stasis. We too could be like that, immutable, immortal. The order which can be observed in the heavens must be reproduced upon earth, such is the meaning of the ancient song, as above, so below. I have endeavored to make my domain a monument to order, with not even a leaf nor stone out of place. It has not been easy, and chaos constantly menaces, but one day I will have the perfect territory. Now sing of my way. Is it not good? Is it not just? I have sacrificed many suns, even moons and turnings, to my pursuit of perfection. Can you deny its result? Is my territory not the most beautiful? Yeah, sure. Uh, hello? Oh, I accidentally closed the chat box. Indeed, I find you a reasonable Dratkin. If it pleases the spirit of the Great Green to have you as a seneschal of its inner lands, I will offer no debate. Your boundary marker shall go unchallenged, and your hunting grounds undisturbed by me. Since you agree with my way, your only logical course of action is to do as I have done, and make your territory a monument to order. Allow no foreign influences, and shun both exception and inaction. I look forward to seeing how beautiful your lands will become. Flattery has pleased the warden, but other kin, hearing that you agree with its bizarre way, may think less of you. Warden tilted his head slightly, pondering this. I have long admired number, absolute, inarguable, concrete number. For many turnings I have played with number in the garden of my mind. It soothes and consoles me for when I am dismayed by chaos. Within number, all is either correct or not correct, as it should be, with no space for disagreement. Therefore, my challenge to you is a challenge of number. I shall present you with a problem. Prepare yourself, for once I present it, you will have but a short time to answer. Here is my question for you. So, 6.2 and 7. Despite having lost, Warden looks happy, thumping its tail as it offers you a small artifact of some kind. Well answered. I have hope for the future, knowing that youth among the kin can move gracefully within the sacred crystal realm of number. I got a cube! The most interesting aspect of the Shenstone object which you have obtained from the Warden is much heavier than anyone would think possible for something so small. Could wondrous power be inside. Alright, see ya! I encourage you to embrace order and perfection. They alone shall lead the way to the future of the kin. Unless you are bold or foolish enough to challenge me for my territory, I wish you well. It is indeed very beautiful in a way, but it is also so rigid, so intentional as to almost be disquieting. You wonder if the spirit of the Great Green truly wants such a thing as perfection. Let's research. Heavy cube. What does heavy cube do? Thank you. What does heavy cube do? Seems the two creators came together to form this cube. Noble valuable silver and dense heavy lead. Perhaps it has some use for those well versed in the hidden ways of Earth's offspring. Okay. Let's explore some more. Ancient trees shroud the ground and shadows here in the deep wood. Though outrageously fertile, most larger beasts do not tarry here for long in the bizarre forces at work. Where there is strangeness, there is danger, but also often treasures. Will you dare to discover what is hidden here? Spend a couple days just exploring. Make sure to have all my territory known before this timer gets too far. Wormwood streams feed to larger bodies of water in this area which borders the Heartwood. Their waters are pure and clean. Perhaps treasures of prey may be found in the Twin Lakes. Still well fled. Well fled. Well fed. Fireflies. This area has an odd topography. Curiously, regular hills dot the lightly wooded vales, giving it the name the Barrows. Hillbacks roam the misty land and are said to be one of the finest meals a kin can partake of, but even a full-grown kin would not attack one of that doughty tribe unprepared. Yeah, and I got owned by a pig. Rat with a ruby. It is the morning. The dew-chilled breeze and sun's glow gradually awaken you. Your eyes stretch your body and sluggishly emerge from your lair. As you exit, the scent of a small fur beast crosses your snout. It is strange for such a creature to be so close to a kin's home. Soon all becomes clear. A squeaking song of annunciation draws your attention to the small bear tail in the undergrowth. When you open your mind to it, it sings a song of great complexity for one of its small kind. It must have long prepared. Great kin, here stands I, small yet winning. For bear-tailed tribes sing I to you. Taken we have from the kin's empty lair, when not there, when not waking, this kin's shiny things. Now hidden away it is, gone from all near places, lost to all but bear tails. For shiny safe return, our enemies you must kill, the deadly legless, invaders of villages, the tail beasts. By their fangs 3 pairs, we shall be satisfied. What will the Drax will be the Drax again. Quickly you duck back into your lair and find though your artifacts remain safe, many of your small shiny things are now gone. When you return to the bear tail, it looks you in the eye, unafraid, awaiting your response to its ultimatum. Fine. Temptation to destroy this messenger of those who have taken from you is mighty, and the fire seed is rising in your throat. With difficulty you swallow it back down and reply, You risk much, your life, many lives, for my treasure, such zeal from one so small. I shall entertain your wish, though if you dare take from me again, you will find destruction. Satisfied, the bear tail vanishes into the undergrowth. Each tail base should have 2 fangs, and 6 are needed. The sooner you slay 3 of them, the sooner you shall have your treasure back. You slam your tail into a nearby tree. The noise and pain helps express your frustration at having been forced to follow the will of lesser beings. Just a moment. Okay. I guess I find snakes here. Deathbite tail beast! Goomst! That's one. Do I still get the fangs? Yeah, okay. 2 more. Oh, that was a hit. Boo. Considering they usually water, I don't want to use fire. Incidentally, the reason you can still choose to eat them raw is in case you get a fungal infection. Eating them raw and getting yourself poisoned will cure you of it. There, I got your snacks. Give me my rocks back. Snack. There, and I maxed out my energy too. Full belly of snakes. As you return to your lair, you place the final fang in the entrance, fulfilling the demand of the bear tails. When you awaken in the morning, the treasure they stole has been returned to you. You are ashamed at having to do their bidding, but the sight of glittering pile of shiny things helps ease your pain. It sucks, but I do have shiny things. Could it be the Brightlings? One moon-shone twilight in the deep wood, you come across a bizarre scent trail, like lightning slithering through a bed of herbs. Sorry, I did a thing. It is a Brightling, one of the mysterious beings who outwardly resemble the tailless, yet have an essence altogether other. Curious, you follow at a distance. The Brightling comes to a beautiful grove of trees, and then, much to your surprise, steps directly into the tree and vanishes both from sight and scent, though you can still sense its essence within. As you begin to approach, a night skyclaw perched on the nearby branch sings out, "Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, know you of the many lights?" Some reveal what is as the light of sun. Some reveal truth as the light of wisdom. Some are blinding, tearing all away and leaving darkness in their wake. Which of these lights is the light of the bright ones? Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. What do you know? They are the melders, the mergers, the joiners, joining themselves with all things. My people have seen them walk into lakes, rivers, mountains, trees, becoming one with them. They have seen them dance with the tailless, dances of joy, dances of creation, dances of many steps. So do they become one with the no-tails in body and in essence for a time. And yet they are not like unto them, or any good beast. We join with others through destruction and creation, but the bright ones never destroy, never create. They never eat, never birth. No hatchlings of their kind exist. A mystery beyond the knowledge of earth and sun. Such a dissonant harmony, such masterful receivers. Hey, tell me about you. Who was like unto us? Long, long ago, we were kin. Oh, it's Owl over there. Hey, what you doing? But we traded that essence to moon and to night, and in return they showed us a new way. The dark air cradles our wings. The fresh scent of night soothes our watery essence until we melt into darkness. Moon shows our prey, revealing from afar tasty morsels plucked from the shadows of darklit trees and sleeping stones. We vanish, and then, revealing ourselves, grow full, like moon, like holy and sacred moon. Who is like unto us? Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. Let's look at them trees. They certainly look like trees, and smell like trees, and feel like trees, and even taste like trees. But they do not sound like trees, do not rustle and creak when the wind blows. This taste, it is the taste of a liar. The bumpy armor also does not chip nor peel away when tested by your claws and teeth. Blah, 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 blah. You must be careful to scorch and not to set aflame, lest a wildfire begin. And curiously, a part of the burned tree's armor falls away to reveal something. What? It reminds you slightly of sigils, but... Oh my god, is this loss? Is this loss? No, not quite. It would be one, and then it would be up, two up, one down, one up, one down. When triangles turn around and double. Left, right? If you combine these and then put it in the middle here. If you combine these, you can put it in the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This sort of thing, you know, you want to... You just want to be careful that you're not psyching yourself out. Yeah, the lines are horizontal. I mean, right is the obvious answer, of course. But I want to make sure I'm not making a dumb. So you need a solid line and this wiggler. A solid line and a dotted line through the middle. Solid, a little dotted, right. Middle. Just behind you. You turn about, brushing something with your tail. Yeah, like, that wasn't hard or anything, but, like, I wanted to make sure I was getting it right. I wanted to, like, really overthink it. It is a fruit of some kind. It must have been growing from the strange tree. Oddly, you see no others like it in any of the other trees. It certainly is beautiful. Beyond beautiful, this is treasure. Its skin is tough as shinestone, imperturbable, and it gleams and glistens in moon's light. It fits comfortably in your mouth, like carrying an egg, and as you make your way back to your lair with it, a warm, pleasant feeling pervades you. It looks fetching besides all your other treasures, but was it really on the tree the whole time? And if not, then... Silver fruit. The strange tree in the Brightling Grove dropped this when you answered all of its strange graphical queries. It is impossible to peel away its shiny rind, but is slightly warm to the touch, and seeing it makes you feel oddly peaceful and content. Well, let's go ask Darkfang about that. It seems he's just over here. Yep, hey Darktooth. Trek back to the edge of the Darktooth's territory and takes most of a sun, but once you announce yourself, you are not kept waiting long. Scarcely have the echoes of the song faded when the dark-winged elder appears in the sky, gliding down to settle before you. A young kin has survived its first great sleep. No longer a hatchling, though still earthbound, formed and yet malleable like clay. The spiritwood, heart of the great green, shall try, temper, teach, and test. But there are other lessons which may not be easily learned from nature. Perhaps a young kin is prepared to begin the great lesson, or does one come for another purpose? Oh, lots of shiny things. Show him the silver fruit. That gets a unique option. The single motion... Oh, he sweeps it into his own maw and swallows it. Before you can object, Darktooth sings soothingly, "Fear not, you shall be compensated. This item is too dangerous to leave in the care of a youngling. It may summon calamity to your lands." What did he just eat? Google can... Silver fruit, golden treasure. Now I'm curious. Enables an encounter in part 3. See article, huh? Da-da-da-da. I'm not seeing any information on that. What's this? Well, you just ate it. It is other. I would simply destroy it, but I happen to have a use for such a thing. Death Tooth gives you quite a few shiny things, more than you thought the object should have been worth, which helps the chagrin. Interesting object. Bloodstone. Interesting object. Sleeping stone. Take a quick look at my things. Stone has absorbed the thoughts and memories of a long line of lumberkin warriors who passed it on to their slaves. If you crush it within your jaws and swallow it, you will be nearly unstoppable for one day, gaining a massive yet temporary amount of enlightenment in the sphere of fire. It is worth 40 lesser treasures. And I have 63 lesser treasures. The Sleeping Stone, a blessing of goodwill towards all creatures, was trapped within it as the spirit passed. Spending a day sleeping while curled around it will restore any being to full health and remove any diseases, but only once. And it's worth 40 treasures. Nice. Just as there are many Drak in the world, so there are many worlds suspended in the great above as they have their own children, and the dark ocean above keeps separated what should be kept separate. The Brightlings, however, defy this. They come from a far sibling Earth, carrying a shining yet distant music to our world. They have never actively aided nor attacked a kin. For some reason, they seem obsessed with the No-Tails, taking on forms similar to No-Tail Berthas and joining with them, dancing, become one. They also frequent the deep parts of the Great Green and gather many things, tasting of them, though they never destroy, nor have any hatchlings of their kind ever been found. More than this cannot be sung, for nothing more is certain. However, a young Drak may be advised not to fear them overmuch, nor to fall prey to their seduction, as the tailless ones have. Even if they would not harm us, it would be better if they were gone. Their over-bright music was not meant for this sun, this earth. Any advice? The Spirit Wood, Heart of the Great Green, may now belong to a certain young kin in name, but it does not yet truly belong to it. One's territory, be it dry or deep, great or humble, must be known and understood. When one has reached the third degree of knowledge of air, fire, water, and earth, then one shall be worthy to find the great green spirit which dwells in the holy vale. One should have its blessing, if one is to endure. One is also not alone in being near to the heart of the green. Other kin are near, and may diminish one's hunting grounds if a formal agreement is not reached. A wise young kin would meet with the rulers of the River Wood, the Skyward Reach, and the Empire of Reeds. One sun, when one's wings are vast and light, perhaps they may be challenged for their lands, but that sun is still many turnings away. However, one may also encounter wandering nomads. These are other kin who, bereft of a home, should challenge the keeper of the Spirit Wood. These shall be tests which refine one's essence, as stone is refined into crystal by time and place. When the Spirit Wood is invaded, then must a young kin stand with claws rooted in the earth and conquer those who would take it. One must never retreat nor surrender. One must learn the ways of the many good beasts of the Spirit Wood. One must not hunt any one people or in any one place too often, or they shall be no more, and the land shall suffer and a kin may go hungry or worse. One's territories is always one's greatest treasure. Never forget this. Among the true children of above and below, 7 are known to many as the Paragons, those whom none may challenge and whose names are whispered on the wind. First in might is the Scarred One, the broken yet unbroken, the many times burned. It dwells in the crimson deeps, where glowing earth flows like slow water. It has mastered, even enslaved, the wild element of fire. Secrets of destruction are known to it which would shatter even the strongest of minds. Beyond pain and badness, it has found treasures which should not exist. Many beasts and even some kin worship it as an avatar of the end of all things, that they may even be correct. Second of the Paragons is the last of the Crystal Clan, the embracer and merger of all things, the lover and beloved, the All-Mother. It makes its home in the Heartwood, warm woods and setwards from the Spirit Wood. It eschews destruction and embraces creation in all of its forms. It claims all life as beloved unto itself, and seeks to weave together the fates and even forms of disparate things. Third is the living drowned, the blue cord, the cool darkness, the deep one, fathom. In the setward great blue, it quietly reigns far below the gray waves. It rests in the dark places known only to the hidden, twisted things which give their own light, beings which long to be sun and know only eternal night. It knows all of their secret names, and all that has ever fallen into the crushing depths below it by right. None others are not as near, and less likely to be encountered by a young kin of the Spirit Wood. In a far Risewood realm, all kin lower themselves in the presence of the Jade Cloud, and the fiery islands beyond fear the raging glory of Blade Tail of the several mines. And there is Ruiner. It sleeps, may it never wake. Darktooth is named only 6 of 7. It is, of course, far too wise to waste time talking about itself. The clan singers, makers of the soaring, many-voiced music, are fur beasts who reject the way of solitude, embraced by strong beings such as the Lumberer, the Slideclaw, and the Kin. Instead, they bind themselves, linking their destinies together. Even the mighty Lumberers and Hillbacks fear them when they walk as one in essence, though many in form. They claim to have discovered love, a force which makes 2 as strong as 3, and many as strong as many more. Some claim this is mere delusion to justify their strange ways. Others say there is a powerful music at work in this love. I can tell you, having played Dark Souls 3 in the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, that, yeah, wolves hunting in packs is real strong. That game actually managed to capture, like, how they fight, how they sort of circle around and feint until you go after one, and then you get bit from behind, and they're real jerks. It is not for the kin to follow their way. Were we to bind ourselves to other kin, the land would not endure, and were we to bind ourselves to other beings, our kin essence would languish, and we would become weak and complacent, ripe for destruction. The love of the clan singers gives them strength, but it can also be used to defeat them. They care for their clanmates, and especially their young, so greatly that more than one Drak has defeated powerful chieftains of their kind simply by threatening that which they love. Still, the clan singers are an honorable people in their way. They never resort to falsehood, bravely battle mighty enemies, and their minds and hearts are pure and clean as the sky. If one is by itself, you shouldn't talk to it and then ambush it. That would be a real dick move. A wise Drak might find them useful tools, and of course the Great Green would be poor without their beautiful songs they sing, the greatest of which can only be sung by many at once. Some call them the Crowned, and for good reason. The spirit of the Great Green has given them crowns, some visible and some invisible, which branch from their minds and curves and point like beautiful trees. Be not fooled by their timidity. They are powerful indeed, and the Green owes its existence to them, subtly, gently. They travel the sacred pathways and destroy the hidden threats, which, if left alone, would bring ruin to all. Many are the kin, but even with our expansive minds, we cannot sense what they sense, cannot change fate as they do. That's because they're so dumb. You're too smart to understand it, dear, because they're big, dumb idiots. The sick dogs. Whatever they ask of a young kin, it would be wise to give it, even unto one's own pride, which is worth more than all the shinestones held in Earth's body, and which should be guarded as one guards one's own life. Yeah, who would ever submit to a lesser being for shinies? Jeez, I would never do that. Oh, thanks for the advice. Say, what do you think about rats? How many shinies do I have left? 44. Cube. And Grit Lesson. Beyond all single questions which can be asked, there rest certain truths which reign over reality as the kin reigns over all the good beasts. The Great Lesson imparts such truths. It consists of various trials, meals for the mind, and one who's found worthy shall have powerful verities revealed which illuminate the path to wisdom. Yet wisdom is power, and all power comes at a price. When the young kin feels as though it is worthy, and can bring tribute, it may begin, but safety is not guaranteed. Truth, like all treasure, can only be earned and never given. Sure, 20 shiny things is nothing. White burning marks are scorched into your mind, not song sigils, but skittles. Curves, pathways, swells. Show them how anything you touch turns into Skittles. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Did you feed and clothe yourself this morning? 'Cause I didn't. You know what it's like to not be able to hold your newborn baby. I met a man on the subway this morning. I shook his hand. He'll never see his family again. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It takes you a moment, but you soon realize that these are directions. That curve is a familiar hill. That line is a great tree that you have seen before. You now know the hidden location of the Great Lesson and can travel there from your lair at any time. Be warned that you will not be able to leave for suns. Only a fool would attempt this adventure without a healthy body and a full core. We travel there now. Body is pristine, well fed. Let's go for it. Yes, this is the place. That unusual foreign tree must be the final marker in the mental directions given to you by Darkteeth. Here lies the entrance to the great lesson. A sky claw rests on the expatriate tree. Expatriate tree. The tree that left America and went to Japan. As you draw near, it sings. One draws near, pulling away from what it was and toward what it shall be. This is the gate of beginning. Its vastness represents all truth, all wisdom. Why are you worthy to enter? What do you possess? Do you know of the great truth? No. Do you have great wisdom? No. Then you are worthy. Remember always that nothing can be filled unless it is first empty. Nothing improved until it finds it is lacking. Nothing learned until one admits ignorance with humility and openness. Look down, look down. Looking down at the base of the foreign tree, you see a hole in the ground. It was always there, but it seemed so obvious that a huge stone was the entrance that you did not even notice. It's time to begin the lesson. It's a cave. Let's go for the leftmost path every time. Start with that. We got a sun shining on some peeps underneath our eyes. These guys with the forks. Alright, take the next leftmost path. Got a big diamond radiating down to this little guy. It's something. Next most left. UFOs raining. A big dragon under the mountain. That's the one that sleeps, I guess. Okay, so back. Leftmost path that I haven't done yet. Got lots of people. Yards. Fur beasts. A little short guy. Dead people. Clouds. This lesson sucks. That's one day. Time flows on. Big dragon. Dinosaurs. Oh, a worm, in fact, with a not quite an Ouroboros in it, and surrounded by dinos. Volcanic eruption. A dragon head up there. The dinos are dead. They know of the dinosaurs. Oh, is that a start over sort of thing? Alright, let's take the rightmost path now. Yeah. You have discovered a water-laved chamber, but the way forward is barred by three curious beings. They seem to have no eyes and are naked, lacking scales, feathers, or fur. We hear you, we smell you, we welcome you by way of cosmic sound. Om. This is the gate of what was. The only way forward is the maze of what was. None shall pass here unless, Om, 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 Om. We are the cosmic song given form, blessed with blindness that we may see only truth, enkindled by the wise ones. Oh yeah, you don't want to screw with a bunch of guys who are enkindled, so that we may sing Om, Om, Om. Our people were ancient drag. We fled to the cool underground waters to escape the skyfall. A secret people known to none, shedding all coverings on long eons until we stood naked before the one song. And then, with nothing between ourselves and infinity, we heard it, the cosmic sound which cleanses mind and essence, which contains all things. It begins open and ends closed, an aria into a hum. Om, om. I'll go back to the maze. It is retreating, going backwards. Backwards and forwards are illusions. May it go backwards in order to go forwards. Om. Okay, guys. Oh, I didn't mean it. Can I pass? The way forward cannot be seen with the lying eye. Only we know the way of the deeper mysteries. The wise one commands none shall pass unless the highest story is sung. How we long to hear it. No song is greater than the high story of the Drakkin, save only the sacred syllable. Om. Those who have seen the seven sights and translated them into true understanding, only such beings can be shown the way downward to the schools. Om. Begin to sing eloquently of what was before your own existence, but after a certain period are interrupted. Gaps, rifts, incomplete, more rests in the maze. They sing out, begging you to find them. Look for hidden paths, hold on to the whole of the maze in your mind. A sacred test for patience, only the repetition of the cosmic syllable is needed. Om, 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 it is retreating. Om. Oh, I guess I'll go left this time. That's 2 days. Well, that's what I just came from. It's hard to tell, you know, where you've come from, where would you go. Yeah, I gotta look for hidden paths. Where do I go then? Oh, stop advancing the days. I'm really just clicking randomly now. I mean, I'm seeing things I've seen before. Unless... What's this? Why does it take me to, like, the beginning? No. Alright, so that was one I hadn't seen, I think. So maybe that's all I needed? Nope, stop it! Om, om, om. Can I pass now? In the beginning. Oh god, I have to choose. Earth and Sun made it, gave birth to life, whose body and her was her body, and whose essence was his essence, but whose soul belonged to neither. Thus the Dragon came into being. The kin spread across the world, adopting many shapes, many minds, but were always of one essence, and always adhering to the great law of destruction, which they learned from the sun, and from the great law of creation, which they learned from the earth. They thrived and prospered, and at last one rose over them, elder of elders, first of the first, the queen and empress of all kin. She held destruction in her mouth and creation itself in her core, and lowered all themselves in her presence. Forgive us, guest. Your incorrect choice dismayed us. We briefly lost control of our powers. Please only speak truth in the order of time. Om. So next would be this. Then came the others in the circle chariots, and the heavens fell burning. The very sky turned against the Drag, and in brief moments eons were unmade. The slaughter was unprovoked and unfathomable. Nearly all the great kin died, though some of the smaller ones survived. Sun shed burning tears which fell to the ground, and earth vomited up slow fire and horror. The great empress was filled with wrath. Calling upon the power of creation, she gave birth to a mighty legion of powerful Drakkin, using the true sigil of the void, she remade herself as the Ruiner, the most powerful beast to ever exist, a force of destruction which terrified even the others. In this new form, she led her children into a battle in the name of the earth herself for the fate of all the good beasts. But that didn't go great. At first, victory was with the Ruiner Empress, but the others secretly wrought a new weapon, a music which rips apart reality. A terrible new music of the others bypassed body and even essence to destroy what should never be destroyed, and the kin were defeated. Nearly all perished, and the Ruiner Empress was stripped of her spirit crown and authority. Imprisoned deep within the flesh of her own mother, she sleeps through the ages, knowing only the nightmare of rage and sorrow which she still carries in her immortal breast. Having defeated the kin, guardians of Earth, the victorious others created the three flat-faced, tailless tribes to spread their dominion. The short, strong delvers to seize Earth bounties from within, the wily custodians to tame the great green and gather the treasures on the surface, and the massive enforcers to administer a new law and keep the others weak and docile. The others then departed, promising to return in the future. The few remaining kin slept for long ages in dark, cold places, hiding from others and their seed. Though the other seed waited many, many turnings, the others did not return. They grew confused and despondent. In their chaos, the custodians rose up against the enforcers and destroyed them. The delvers disappeared underground, leaving only the custodians to bear the legacy of the others on the surface. Now they were simply the No-Tails. In time, the few true kin who were left emerged from hiding and sought their crown again among the good beasts of a new and changed Earth, but they were no longer unopposed. Now the No-Tails multiply, their strange music warping the world, while the kin are squeezed between a departed past and an unknown future. Earth herself and the fate of all her children hang uncertain in the silent void, awaiting the verdict of time. Om, so it was, so it was. The high story has been sung, and the way now opens. Om. We offer gratitude for the pleasure of hearing the high story once more. Pass on and remember. Om. One of the Oms shows you the way, a hidden nook below the water. You enter in, flowing downwards through the dark rapids. Gain some mastery. And I'm probably really hungry. Uh-oh. Unschooled, unschooled! Following monitor protocol! Subtract 6 from 4, add 10. What's the result? Correct! Exception allowed. Lateral movement is discouraged. Please proceed quickly at an improved source of wisdom. Stay in school! These guys are weird. Oh, I'm a big fish. Come to a sandy, shallow pool inhabited by some strange waterbound, a relic of a bygone era. It is surrounded by smaller beings who listen to it intently. And lo, the greatest being was filled with wrath for those who dared to defy the law, and it spoke, If thou lovest the surface so greatly, then there shalt abide forever. I'm only regular hungry now, I'm okay. Then unwillingly they shed their scales, which fell like sand to the bottom of the great blue, and wasted away, and perished, floating upward into the accursed air. And this holy miracle, in which the loving and merciful greatest being killed all who disagreed with it, was a sign of the law, Thou shalt not approach the surface. Oh, hello, music. But those who kept the law, and did as they were commanded by greatest being, did not approach the surface, were blessed with many food and many eggs. Loki, 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 Loki. Loki, Loki, Lo. Reply the listeners with joy, the original speaker then addresses you. Welcome to the School of Faith. I am Keeper One, instructor of the school. No doubt you are dismayed by the false doctrines of the other so-called schools. Here at least the path to true wisdom shall be revealed in the form of unquestionably correct tradition. You are, of course, familiar with the concept of tradition, but this does not seem to be the tradition which you know. When you ask for more information, the instructor responds, The basic principles of the School of Faith are simple and elegant. According to the unquestionably correct tradition, which has never been and never will be wrong, there is a relatively simple set of principles by which all beings must live. The core of the tradition is the five great laws, which were given by the greatest being to our ancestors long ago. They are as follows. One must never harm others unless they have broken a law. One must never approach the surface. One must share what one has if one has more than enough. One must eat nothing which contains the color yellow. Extractions in air / explosions in fire is on board with this. Because in chemistry, if it turns yellow, that's bad. That means it's explosive and poisonous. One must have faith. Following these primary laws and the hundreds of smaller laws which proceed from them has granted us prosperity and happiness. Wisdom is defined as adherence to the tradition at all times and all places. If one keeps the laws, then one will never know fear nor doubt. And when one's body is destroyed, the greatest being will grant one life unending in the starry ocean above. There's no water in space! Loki Loki Lo. Ah, Loki Loki Lo is an ancient song of praise to the greatest being. We sing it often to remind ourselves of its presence and protection. It is also an easy way to Om! Om! It is also an easy way to tell those who follow the unquestionably correct tradition from those who do not have faith. Following these primary laws and the hundreds of smaller laws which proceed from them has granted us prosperity and happiness. I should mention, this is all optional. There are 3 endings to this game, and this is required for one of the endings, for the wisdom ending. It is not required for the peace ending or the violence ending. The violence ending just requires violence. The peace ending requires reputation, mostly. And this requires Om, 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 excuse me, Om, excuse me, Oh. I think you know the answer. The cosmic syllable Om. Following these primary laws and hundreds of smaller laws which precede them has granted us prosperity and happiness. Wisdom is defined as adherence to the tradition at all times and in all places. If one keeps the laws, then one will never know fear nor doubt. And when one's body is destroyed, the greatest being will grant one life unending in the starry ocean. But you already said that. The greatest being is the most supreme entity which could ever be imagined. One may never depict it in detail, for any given detail can be improved upon, and the greatest being can never be improved upon. So, they're communist Islam fish. The greatest being made the one song, and everything in it, from the mighty Draken to the smallest secret beings. The greatest being resides in the starry ocean above us. The stars which shine above us at this very moment are the eyes of every faithful being which has followed the laws, and now lives in blessedness forever. It points out a few particularly bright points of light on the cave ceiling. That one there is the eye of the great instructor of the school of the past. That one belongs to my birther creator, shining down with love upon me still. Loki Loki Lo. You begin to explain that the points of light above are neither stars nor eyes, but merely small bioluminescent worms. Worms! I'm lonely worm. Which cling to the ceiling over the small subterranean pool, but are quickly hushed by the instructor and several of his followers. Please do not joke. These are the eyes of the faithful, proof of the rightness of our tradition, and not anything else, certainly not something as base and tasty as a worm! You cannot possibly know otherwise. To even approach the surface, let alone rise above it, is forbidden. And this is surely the great blue, open to the stars, and not an underground pool. Loki Loki Lo. Following these primary laws and the hundreds of smaller laws which are happiness, wisdom is defined as adherence to the tradition at all times and in all places. If one keeps the laws, then one will never know fear nor doubt. And when one's body is destroyed, the greatest being will grant one life unending in the starry ocean above. That's a really long amen. Well, let's look at them. This is certainly an unusual community of good beasts. They greet each other in the name of the greatest being, and are careful not to do harm to others. A feeling of solidarity, kinship, and optimism pervades the entire pool. Even if untrue, their beliefs of those who have gone before watching them from above tends to modify their behaviors in constructive ways. When they encounter difficulty, they often interpret it as a test, which reinforces their belief and encourages them to act in the best interest of all, rather than merely themselves, and helps them feel as though a greater being cares for them and watches over them personally in all circumstances. Excessive materialism is almost unknown, and they freely give to each other when in need. They do not worry about changing circumstances, sure in the knowledge that they are keeping the laws of the greatest being and are protected by its power. They don't have treasure hoards, and therefore are losers! There do seem to be a few drawbacks to the system. There are a number of delicious things which can said to be yellow in some way, like bananas, and they deprive themselves of such things simply because the law commands it, though no reasons are given. When a law is broken even accidentally, the response can be quite violent. So long as the offender continues to profess faith and attempts to adhere to the laws, forgiveness is easy to earn. However, those who openly question the laws themselves, the nature of the stars above, or the existence of the greatest being are summarily banished from the school. Some make it to other schools, though many are destroyed by the monitors. By and large, however, this is the happiest and most stable community you have encountered. It's the only one I've talked to so far. If you are not bound by the way of the Drac, you might be tempted to join merely for the sense of support and unity it affords, even knowing that it is based upon factual mistruths. Following these primary laws and the happiness of the starry ocean above. Alright, see you later! How about over here? I'm feeling pretty The stone-rimmed channels bring you before a vast living being. It is clearly waterbound in nature, though you have no idea what kind. You have never seen or heard anything vaguely like it. At first you fear being devoured, then you sense its powerful yet gentle essence. As terror turns to awe, its mind-song pours into you like molten shinestone. In the name of wisdom and the eternal deep, welcome. Imparting a minor truth, this is the gate of graduation, through which all must pass to leave the schools and earn an audience with the wise one. For the purpose of clarification, and also to ascertain the aspirant's self-knowledge, have you received the blessings of the 4 instructors, thereby becoming ready for the test? No. The gigantic creature falls silent. It does not speak again. Unable to find any other way out, you leave by the way you came to continue your studies. Unschooled, unschooled, following monitor protocol. Multiply 11 by 5 and add 4, subtract 10, subtract 6. 55, 59, 49, 43. Correct. Exception allowed. Lateral movement is discouraged. Please proceed quickly into an improved source of wisdom. Stay in school. What is with these eels? Okay, so there's a current running, so I'm going to follow the current. Or maybe I need to follow the not current. Oh, I made it back here. Sorry. I'll go. Okay, so the current leads you in a circle. Except there are multiple currents, aren't there? Unschooled, unschooled! Add 10 to 7, 17 subtract 4, 13 multiplied by 11. 143. Correct, exception allowed. Octopus. You arrive at a rocky pool containing an 8-limbed creature which seems to be guarding several piles of ordinary sand. Some creatures nearby are doing the same. Welcome, Drakkin. You have traveled far and have at last arrived to the one true school. This is the School of Wealth, and I am Instructor Peckinus. Our philosophy is embraced by all the world. Even the Drakkin live by our way, collecting many, many things to themselves. I currently possess exactly 2,076,438 objects. They are mine and mine alone. So how many objects do you possess? You confess, though, although you have many objects in your trove, it does not approach such a number. Ah, then joy is mine today. I can call myself Peckinus, whose wealth is greater than the Drak. Its many appendages squirm with pleasure. When you inquire about where these billions of valuable objects are, it replies, right before your very snout. They are the grains of sand, and they are all mine. Why, certainly. Normally, I would require a payment in sand, but the pleasure of instructing a mighty kin will be reward enough. The first principle of the School of Wealth... Oop. Make sure you're ready for the real world. The real Om. The first principle of the School of Wealth is this. Only material things are real. Only physical matter can truly be proven to exist, and matter is therefore sovereign. How much food? I'm still just hungry. Once one disposes of all intangible and ephemeral ideas, one is easily led by the second principle. The purpose of existence is the gathering of material possessions. Having great material wealth affords one respect and security. I need hardly lecture a Drakkin on this. In your own culture, mating opportunities are based largely on trove size, a commendable practice. And even lesser beings understand this. Birthers select givers who are of the greatest size, or have the best territory, or who demonstrate dominance over others. All of these things are indications of material success, nothing more, nothing less. To most beings, success is measured by the collection of vast amounts of food stored in the body as fat. I'm very successful, then. This is indeed a legitimate form of wealth, physical and inarguable, but more advanced beings, such as your own people, have moved beyond this and discovered the joy of possessions. Ah, possessions, what pleasure they bring. The Drak seek possessions with certain characteristics, loosely defined as treasure, but in truth anything can be hoarded, and anything can have value. Here at the School of Wealth, we have agreed that sand is valuable, and has created a wonderful enlightened For a certain number of grains of sand, I can compel the beings here present to do nearly anything. Bringing food, cleaning parasites, even the performance of song and dances, everything has a price. Morality and ethics, which are non-existent falsehoods spread by the poor, have no place here, nor in the one song. Even tradition does not truly exist. I urge you to cast away all those things which are impediments to finding success in the only way which matters. This is the essence of wisdom, to abandon the intangible and devote oneself to the fulfillment of one's material desires through wealth. Sand itself seems to be the basis of all activity here. The focus is not on living beings, but rather on the number of grains of sand which they possess. Every movement and interaction carries a price in sand. It is traded for food, territory, entertainment, and mating opportunities. Some of the good beasts have even forgotten how to hunt, having used sand to gain sustenance their whole lives. Some few have large quantities of sand, more than enough, but instead of enjoying it, they constantly seek more, finding new and more expensive things on which to spend it. In this sense, everyone seems to desire much more than they have. The discovery of wealth has made everyone quite poor, and their dependence on others has made them weak. as they now buy what they desire rather than win it. When an individual's pile diminishes, they wail with sorrow and become despondent, even though their ancestors, and most currently living beings, would have never cared about it at all. Despite all this, they routinely bless themselves for having created this system and sing about how it is the best possible way. It certainly does allow some who would not survive in the wilderness to thrive, but they are so focused on the cost of the objects within the system that they do not perceive the cost of the system itself or the weakness it brings. Everything has a price, O kin. My blessing, like everything else, can be bought with grains of sand. 10,000 grains, such as my price, and my blessing shall be given. Sure. Some wanted you to bring them food, some wanted you to entertain them by singing in faraway places and experiences, and some used you to guard their piles of sand as they went elsewhere. Some even used you to threaten or steal sand from others. At times, how am I still just hungry? The shadow of your next great sleep. Make the most of your time as less than half remains. Uh-oh. At times you even caught yourself feeling happy or disappointed with your own pile of gathering sand. You never would have imagined that a pile of minuscule common matter could make a drag feel joy of despair. The culture of the cavern is quite skilled at encouraging such things. Peckiness seems deeply satisfied as it accepts your payment. Now you see the great wisdom of the School of Wealth, do you not? Any desire can be satiated in mere moments. It is nearly effortless. Congratulations on your success. When you return to your home, do not forget what you have learned here. One son, perhaps, the whole of Earth will live in the glorious thrall of wealth. Don't worry, it will! Imagining billions of being safe from physical harm but enslaved to wealth does not seem ideal, but you take the blessing and leave, having learned of a new and strange way. So it seems I... Yeah. So it seems I do need to go back to the peace school. Can I not go this way? Subtract 10 from 10, add 6. What's the result? 6. Just try to keep going left. So 5, 35, 42. I'm gonna lose all my days. Found the exit, I guess. I'm so lost. Oh, a mola mola. Water delivers you to a flooded chamber filled with waterbound beasts. I'm very hungry. I gotta ask for food. They hardly react to your presence, engaged in some kind of group activity. The largest one sings and the smaller ones echo it. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Momentum is equal to the product of mass and velocity. That's a big jump. Momentum is equal to the product of mass and velocity. Cavern 7 features 4,721 individual stalactites. Cavern 7 features 4,721 individual stalactites. Pausing, the large one sucks several of the smaller ones into its giantly mouth and then placidly continues. One of the larger waterbound approach you, singing a soft song of greeting. Greetings, honored visitor, and welcome to the School of Knowledge. What do you seek here? When you inform it that you have come in search of wisdom, it seems gratified. You have come to the right place. Wisdom is simply another term for knowledge. Here, the instructor imparts crucial information which should be known by all. Please feel at liberty to join the other students in learning the essential facts of the world. Leaving is not recommended. The monitors do not take kindly to those who would leave the classroom before it is properly dismissed. Please note the class has never been dismissed within the collective memory of the beings here present. Enjoy your educational experience. The Forever Fish School. This particular lesson is based on something called roots, which actually have nothing to do with trees, as you discover. Apparently a root is a number which, when multiplied by itself, gives another number, of which the first number is considered the root. The instructor then proceeds to address the unasked question of whether the root of the number 2 could be expressed as a fraction, that is, as the ratio of any two whole numbers. If the root of 2 could be expressed as a ratio, then the number 2 would equal to a multiplied by a over b multiplied by itself, where a and b are different numbers with no common factors, which further implies that a squared would equal 2 times b squared, which would mean that both a and b must be even, which means that they share a factor of 2 and therefore could not be a proper ratio of two numbers with no common factors. The fact that none of the students seem to truly comprehend the reasoning or significance of this or even care about it is for its own sake, does not stop the instructor from doing the exact same thing all over again with another unasked question and another and another. In the end, a test is given in which the students are required to repeat various facts and principles. Those who repeat them well are rewarded with food. Those who do very poorly become food. The instructor is usually either lecturing or sleeping, but you manage to get in a question. Who is it, and what is it doing here? I am known as Pedantus. What a unfortunate name. I was once a simple Flothook waterman, sibling of 300 million spawned by my birther parent one son. My existence was filled with hardship and danger until the wise one chose me and opened my mind to the beauty of facts, of hard unbiased knowledge. My newfound ability to retain these facts made me useful to the wise one. Now I distribute my knowledge generously to all who would hear. These are the principles of my school, the School of Knowledge. First, that only verifiable, quantitative, and unbiased information constitutes fact. Second, that facts are the basis of knowledge. Third, that knowledge is the basis of wisdom. You ask whether the theorems and combinations of numbers and sigils and labels serve a purpose. Of course, who knows when knowledge of how to calculate the length of the longest leg of a triangle from the lengths of the other two might save one's life, or when knowing the names of tiny bones within one's nose may bring one success. Well, the first one is useful in a lot of things. I can think of bridge building for one, but triangles form a huge amount of our architecture, which doesn't need, strictly speaking, to be known by everyone, but the fact that its information is so readily available to everyone means that anyone then can build upon that knowledge into a higher level and bring upon with it the ability to create, the ability for humans, as we have, to create structures as grand as possible. The second one relates more to medicine. Knowing the names of things allows for better communication of when those things have gone wrong, how they should be, how to fix them when they've gone wrong, and such. Again, this knowledge is a little higher level in its ordinary state, and in its higher level requires a great deal of study, but is no less important than the ability to build is the ability to mend. There, does that answer your question of why we need algebra? But even beyond the facts themselves, I will teach of what I teach is a better way, a way in which beings are judged on the basis of mind rather than body. From this shall flow a new future, one in which brute force shall become obsolete and fact shall reign supreme. Perhaps in time one may solve the hidden equation, and all shall be ease and blessedness forever. But even if one does not, we create by this a new way, a more correct and placid earth, where mystery lies dead, and all the rest embrace the certainty. Refrain from pointing out that its way does not seem to be affecting anything at all outside this small cavern. The School of Knowledge is a place fraught with both information and tension. The students survive and thrive by their ability to repeat the myriad lessons of the instructor, and so they obsessively repeat the instructor's song. At various points, the instructor falls asleep, and the students are free to do what they will, but because of the threats of upcoming tests, much of this free time is spent going over what the instructor has previously sung. After tests, most of the content is quickly forgotten and replaced by new material to obsess over. Hey! Some of the information, it stays in there. Some of the information given by the instructor relates to the realm of nature, such as anatomy. While a little of it is useful, most of it just applies long names to very specific parts of the body, to which you can already refer in much simpler terms. Other times the information relates to the study of numbers. The basics, such as addition and division, are indeed useful, but these are studied only briefly. Most of the students' time is spent memorizing complex theorems and operations which you are quite certain the vast majority will never put to any practical use. In fact, only rarely do the learners apply any of the facts that they are constantly given in their lessons. When you point this out, they are surprisingly undismayed. We do not know much more than others, and it is not knowledge, the root of wisdom. One sun, it shall be useful surely. And besides, at this cavern, our successes will be guaranteed if we can survive enough tests. Better to hone one's mind than to rely on one's body for safety. You do notice that more survive here than in the Great Blue by far. Pedantus, the instructor, at first ignores your request. It is waxing eloquent on the relationship between certain parts of a non-existent theoretical circle. When it finishes, it responds slowly. Only through a sacred test can my blessing be earned. Since you are not of the school of knowledge, we shall begin with a basic test of number. Add 10 by 10, subtract 11. What is the result? 9. Subtract 5 from 6, 1. Add 7, what is the result? 8. Add 6 to 8, 14. Multiply by 8. 112. Subtract 11, 101. Add 11 to 8, 19. Subtract 4, 15. Multiply by 11, 161. Subtract 9, 152. Oh. 3, 11. Subtract 11 from 7. Add 7. So negative 4, 3. Multiply 6 by 5, 30. Add 10, 40. Subtract 5, 35. Multiply 9 by 5, 45. Subtract 11, 34. 45. 38. 16. Multiply by 8. 128. 114. What is the result when one subtracts 9 from the product of the root of 16 and the sum of 8 and 7? So the root of 16 is 4, subtract 9 from 4 is negative 5, add the sum of 8 and 7 is 15 is 11. What? Subtracts 9 from the product... Oh! I didn't see of the product of the root of 16, sum of 8 and 7. So it would have been 4 times 15 is 69... 60 minus 9 is 51. 51 was the answer. Subtract 4 from 5, add 10, what's the result? 11. Subtract 6 from 10, add 10, what's the result? 14. Add 8 to 4, 12, multiply by 8. 1696, subtract 1185. Multiply 11 by 11, 121, add 11. 132, subtract 7, 125, subtract 9, 116. Multiply 4 by 4, 16, subtract 10, 6, subtract 4, 2, add 6, 8. What is the result when one subtracts 9 from the product of the root of 16 and the sum of 8 and 7? So the sum of 8 and 7 is 15, the root of 16 is 4, 4 times 15 is 60. 60 minus 9 is, yep, just double checking. Your skill in the realm of number is recognized. You have my blessing. Relay my greetings to the Wise One, and inform it that I continue my sacred charge of spreading knowledge to all. But I got Air Mastery for it. Unschooled, unschooled. Multiply 9 by 9, 81. Subtract 11, 70. Add 9, 79. Stay in school. Subtract 5, multiply is 30, add 636, subtract 432. Eels. And a lobster. The shadowy crevice features quite a few good beasts. Mostly waterbound, living in a plant-like existence. Each seems to have created a hole in the sand for itself, and there it remains, occasionally extending or retracting, but never leaving. None acknowledge your presence. When you introduce yourself as a young Dratkin and has come to learn the ways of wisdom from an instructor, the narrow one in the center replies, "What is a Dratkin?" Generally, you explain that Dratkin are mighty beasts which prey upon many other beings, gather precious treasures, and grow to immense size. Mighty, precious, and immense, all are empty of meaning. Many beings might use some words to describe themselves, though they are nothing to you, or even to me. What is mighty to one is weak to another. What is precious to one is useless to another. What is large to one is tiny to another. You are trapped by judgments of yourself and the world, which do not exist. I ask again. It's what I am. That answer is empty of content. If you asked me what I am and I answered I am myself, you would not be at all satisfied, and the intended question would remain unanswered. Using what you have learned in the maze of what was, you explain the high story of the kin. They are the first children of Earth and Sun who battled the others. In times long gone they were defeated, and now seek to rise again. You speak of events which you have not yourself witnessed. They may well be inaccurate, or even wholly fallacious. I have no way of verifying them, and neither do you. But more importantly, how can speaking of the past divine the present? I ask what a Drakkin is, not what they have done in the past. Your answer fails to answer the question, so I ask again. What is a Drakkin? You take great care to delineate the Drak from other beings by their physical appearance, number, ratio, and angle of limbs, shape and structure of bones, hues of armor and feather, number of teeth, and more. When finished, you are certain you have succeeded in describing a beast which can only be a Drakkin. You say that a Drak has a certain number of teeth. I already lost 2 teeth, goddammit! If a Drakkin loses a tooth to some misfortune, is it no longer a Drak? You reply that of course it is still a Drak, and even if it loses one or all of its teeth. Then why did you include that in your definition? Do you not see that all these points which you have labored so greatly to eliminate are false? Exceptions exist for all of them, and yet those who are the exceptions are still Drakkin. The more you attempt to confine reality to narrow definitions, the more it will defy you. I ask again, what is Drakkin? Fucked if I know! You do not know what you are, and cannot even define your own species. The same can be said for yourself as an individual, and for anything which you behold in this world. You have failed. Well, how about you? You are not an instructor, and I am not your student. You do not have the right to test me. I will, however, be indulgent. I have no definition, and am comfortable with that fact. Any applications of words or judgments to me would limit me, and so I reject them. I will note, for your sake, that my people are often called reachers, that I am sometimes labeled an instructor, and that others call this place the School of Emptiness. These are all labels, and as such are all false, but others still use them. This is the first truth. All judgments are relative and therefore meaningless. Consider, to me a common rain scale is larger than myself, and so I may be tempted to call it, to judge it to be large. You, though, are larger than any rain scale, and so you may be tempted to perceive it as small. In reality, however, our rain scale is not large or small, it simply is. The same applies to all judgments, hot and cold, low and high, good and bad, intelligent and stupid, beautiful and ugly. All these are wholly dependent on perspective and therefore do not exist. This is the second truth. All labels are false. So it's not the second truth, because that label is false. As you learn, the term Drak or Kin is often used to describe things which look or behave somewhat like you, but the word Drak has no actual definition. We can speak of what is not. A Drakkin is not, for example, a fur beast the size of a grain of sand, but we cannot actually define it or anything. We may agree that the term Drak applies to you and Reacher applies to me, but we cannot actually define what those things themselves are. The nature of objects in and of themselves is unknown and cannot be known. This is the third truth. Reality is unknowable. You have the experience of being here and understanding me, but what if you are now asleep and this is but a dream? Can you prove that it is not so? Is it even possible that this is all a simulation of some kind, and not only do I not physically exist, but even you do not? Perhaps all of this reality is some kind of game for a higher being whose interest and purpose we cannot fathom. Hey! I'm with the lobster. All things float from dream to waking and from existence to existence fluently. None of your treasures you hoard nor the prey you consume can be proven to actually exist. These truths alone hold, such as my instruction, and those who truly understand it are able to reach true peace, free from the bondage of which others judge, label, or even do. Can I have your blessing? Who are you? What is wisdom? What is life? Yes, empty silence alone is accurate, and you will never be proven wrong. You have my blessing. Doubtless, you now wish to put what you have learned into practice through abandoning all judgments and endeavors and existing as minimally as possible, just as the rest of us. Your body is too large for this chamber, however. How do you know? Large? That sounds like a label. Squiddling. Go and dig yourself a hole in another place and occupy it passively. May you rest in the emptiness. Add 4 to 7, 11, subtract 9, 2. What is the result? Fucking lizard monitors. Eel monitors. You don't know me. Eh. 8 by 9, 72. Add 4, 76. Subtract 7, 69. Nice. Subtract 9 was the result, 60. Can I have a map? Can I have the ability to go backwards? Please. I never got his blessing. Whoops. Please give me food. Okay. Oh, I'm okay now. As for the blessing, you must cleanse yourself. You have observed not only approaching the surface, but even breaking through it on occasion. This is a great violation of the law. You explain that not being water-bound, you cannot breathe in water and must occasionally take in air from the surface. It is not a choice to break the law, but merely your intrinsic nature. Irrelevant. The law supersedes all logic and even nature. If you find true faith, you will be able to breathe. Water. All things are possible for the greatest being. As penance, you shall take the test of the law, as all those who wish to join our school must. I shall question you, and you shall answer. Never approach the surface. That is the second law? Puce. Never approach the surface. Second law. Chartreuse. Blessing. Surface. Second. Chartreuse. If a surplus. Fifth law states that one must have faith. Duh. Oop, not fasteth. Faith. Very good. You have learned our great way. Oop. I give you my blessing. May you carry the teachings of the unquestionably correct way to the ends of the earth. May we meet again in the starry ocean. Loki Loki Lo. Lalilulelo. Alright, I'm still allowed to enter here because I might need the food. Sorry, I didn't mean to come here. Subtract 9 from 7, negative 2, add 6. Or add 8, 6, multiplied by 10. What's the result? 60. Because my math holds up against the eels! Alright, almighty manta ray. I've talked to all the idiot fish. Your acceptance echoes through the dark water and long silence reigns. Then out of the darkness, Pedantus, the instructor of the School of Knowledge, appears. Young one, you have received my blessing and arrived at the gate of graduation. You have learned the importance of number and fact from my School of Knowledge. You've seen how a new way can be forged in which information can be spread from one to many and be used to measure one's worth. In time, facts shall be the key to newfound powers and ways. Only those who know every detail can hope to understand the all. Will you join our school and devote yourself solely to the gathering of knowledge in all forms? Will you renounce your lair, the search for treasure and the hunt, and remain here, becoming a beacon of facts and facts alone? But why not? Is not my way great and perfect? What flaw is there in my path? Because knowledge alone is not wisdom. Blessings of the greatest being upon you, young Drakkin. You have received my blessing and learned the sacred laws given by the greatest being. You have borne witness to the community of faith and seen the harmony and peace which come from embracing the inarguably correct tradition. When our bodies are destroyed, we will surely live on in the great above and look down upon others from the bright blue stars. I invite you now to take the final step and become one of us forever. If you will swear always to have faith in the greatest being and follow the true laws alone, then you too can live without fear and doubt and have the support of others. No. But why not? Why would you choose the difficult and lonely path of the Drakkin over the comfortable and supportive community of faith? What flaw is there in our path? Because your way is not the way of truth. Your stars are not true stars, and your laws are not true laws, which govern the one song. Another darkness, another silence. In the tumble of limbs, Instructor Pecunius appears. Greetings, Drakkin. You have made it to the gate of graduation, as I knew you would. Your ambition and power are worthy of your people. Now the time has come for you to join us permanently. We are in need of your strength, and you shall become rich and powerful within our school of wealth. Imagine you will have such wealth as never has seen. Other beings will rush to do your bidding, and never again will you have to hunt. For a few hundred grains of sand, others will bring you food or even become it. You will never have to concern yourself with empty beliefs or agonize over what may be. You can buy pleasure and security, and beyond these things there is no meaning to life. Come now with me. I'll even grant you a small starting amount of sand to begin your rise to wealth and success. Be huge and powerful among lesser beings, and give up the strife of hardship of the life you have known. I decline. But why? You cannot deny that my way is the quickest to power and pleasure, and that hoarding sand among us would be easier than hoarding rare things among the kin. Because I do not wish for ease. I wish for worthy treasure beyond imagining and true strength, which you do not have. Greetings in the name of emptiness. You can just go. You know, you can just leave. From me you have learned a powerful truth that all things are empty. Beauty, ugliness, wisdom, ignorance. None of these things truly exist. They all are relative. All beings are all of them in comparison to certain others. Many search for a meaning to life, but the true meaning is only that there is no meaning. You're scrabbling for treasure, your desire to be strong. You will never have everything, and you will never be as strong as sun or earth, no matter how hard you try. This cavern is large, dark, and peaceful. It will suffice. Embrace emptiness and know only the true peace. Dig a hole for yourself here. Seize what drifts by, and give up all of the meaningless struggles of life, which bring only pain and delusion. I shall not. But there is no forward. The very concept relies upon the idea that there is a right or wrong way to be, which is judgmental, inaccurate, and harmful to yourself and others. If you move forward from here, you will only be contributing to the morass of action, spinning about on the wheel of destruction and creation, achieving nothing which will not fade with time. What possible reason could you have to leave this place and continue with your old life? What flaw is there way in the perfect way of emptiness? Life is not empty, but filled with possibilities. We are children of Son of Earth, not of the Void. The last of the visions fade away, and the golden mind song of the vast floating being flows into you. To expand the aspirant's mental perspective, all lessons, all truths, all are like the great blue, possessing an apparent surface but also harboring vast and secret depths. Most are satisfied with the surface, few dive beneath to discover the substance, and fewer still plumb the depths to find the strands which weave reality. But such is the way of all who are truly wise. While they may move within one school, they are never truly of them, and ideas are to them challenges and inspirations, not shackles or walls. To acknowledge the truth carried by others, but to also see their weaknesses, to see all sides of the gem of truth and not fall in love with merely one of its facets. Such is wisdom. Tenderly stating a final judgment, this place is not your home. You are bound for wider horizons. To express the kinship which exceeds all boundaries of people and mind, may you be blessed. I graduated! The lair of an elder. Only in your dreams have you visited such a place. Darktooth's ample essence flows in every stone cranny, every drop of water. That is a lot of gems. Artifacts of many shapes and colors, some beyond your ability to comprehend, are meticulously arranged in many compartments. Sky claws of the Night Clan fly gracefully to and fro, whispering secrets to their master, and water continuously blesses the huge drac known to many as the Wise One. As you emerge from the submerged passageway, Darktooth eyes you indulgently, welcoming you with a slight inclination of its head and a relaxed half-sweep of its tail. The lesson is concluded. To enter, one must admit that one is not wise. One cannot truly learn unless one embraces one's own limited nature. Then one learns the high story of the drac. Few indeed are we who remember the other war and the firefall. Some things should not be forgotten, and so I constructed the maze of what was, to pass on what has gone before. Yet be not a slave to the past, which is gone. The present alone is immortal. If one focuses on what was as if it were what is, one will be trapped, unable to find a way forward. Until the last darkness and silence, there is always hope. Both the Dratkin and the others, and all beings, can change. Remember this. After the first test, one descends into the maze of philosophy, where one encounters 4 instructors, each of a different way. In the School of Knowledge, one learns that memory and facts have potential to forge a new way, but one must be wise enough to see its flaws. Information without growth or application is meaningless. The materialism taught by the School of Wealth is indeed conducive to acquiring matter, but chasing after wealth and security can easily become a trap. One will never have all things or be perfectly safe. Learning to acquire without learning to let go leads only to pain and fear. Perhaps one would be tempted to join the School of Faith, to worship their deity and ascribe to their beliefs. Those beliefs, however, are rooted not in truth, but on a desire for acceptance and order, based on a past which has never been. Such is not the way of the Dratkin. And the School of Emptiness. The instructor was correct in teaching that all judgments are relative, and many of the concepts we use to label ourselves and others are not real. But while it may be tempting to fall into nihilism, remember hey, that was made by a tailless, way in the future. You're not Nietzsche. Remember that one is alive, and every act of destruction and creation wrought by you changes the one song. You are at once large and small, beautiful and ugly, wise and ignorant. Embrace that paradox and live. At the final gate, one graduates by refusing to be trapped by any single perspective. Four times one must reject them, understanding that while all 4 instructors were intelligent, none were truly wise. Also, you need to be harassed by an eel who asks you your times tables the whole time. That's really important to the process, you know? Never confuse intelligence for wisdom. Wisdom is neither a knowing nor a finding, but rather a seeking. This is the essence of the great lesson I have prepared for a young kin. Look beneath life's surfaces. Deep truth is that which connects, not with that which separates. Through my growing understanding of the One Song, I have crafted artifacts which use the laws of reality to achieve ends thought to be impossible. I can imbue my Mind Song with the power of Earth and Sun. And yet some say that I was wise because of such things. I believe that if I am wise, it is because I have not given up the search for even deeper truths. And I am careful to remind myself that I am imperfect, and that there are infinite things I have yet to discover. Answers can become cages. Learn instead to love questions. Certainty can become ignorance. Learn instead to embrace uncertainty, to cherish it like a treasure. I bet this dragon gets really excited when he gets in a library, because he is a nerd. Punch Tanaka. Certainty can become ignorance. Learn instead to embrace uncertainty, to cherish it like a treasure. Such is my lesson to a young kin. Such is my lesson to you, my creation. Yes, the enkindled, the ohms, the 4 instructors. I enkindled them all, hundreds of turnings ago. I endowed them with a small part of my own essence, prolonging their lives and granting them special gifts. Each served a minor purpose at the time, but I came to regret what I had done. Enkindled beings are powerful, but the expansion of their being can easily lead them to madness or destruction. I relocated them here to keep them safe, and to serve as lessons, not only on philosophy, but also on the dangers of enkindling. Not all of my enkindlings were mad failures like the instructors, however. I was able to guide some, like the Skyclad, the entrance to better paths, and like the eel, who's just annoying. A few even came to surpass me in some respects, like the great glider who attends the gate of graduation. I consider it a living treasure. But many more have been lost or spiraled into ruin, sundered from their own people and burdened with a mind greater than their natures could support. Beware. Well, if I'm going to get experience for all this, the Emerald Flame, your birth or creator, was guardian of the spirit wood at the time of your creation. We danced, and so you were created, along with several others. While passionate in its defense of the sacred land, the Emerald Flame was deeply traditional, and strong with the element of fire. Its hatred of the No-Tails was immoderate. Many tailless perished. It would be no exaggeration to say that the Emerald Flame relished the flavor of their flesh, a dangerous addiction. Finally, on the sun of your hatching, it was destroyed by the No-Tails, who utilized a cunning trap. Now you are the Emerald Flame's legacy. You possess its territory as well as most of its form. That is common. Newly created kin nearly always take on the clan of their birth or creator. Your scales, feathers, and wings are deeply reminiscent of my old dance partner. Your eyes alone are mine, and your essence is wholly on your own, forever. What are all these things? What you behold here is but a small portion of my possessions. These are the artifacts currently under research or use. I have several caverns full of small shiny things, and other artifacts in storage, at various locations, most of them in the Great Blue. I'm currently involved in a very special research endeavor. Fathom the Great, Paragon of the Sea, joins me in the search for a different answer. When you ask what Darktooth is searching an answer to, it falls silent and sings no more on the matter. An admirable people, like all the feather beasts. They were kin long ago, and of all the feather beasts, they have best retained our qualities. After coming to the Great Green from the Great Blue, I quickly found that their eyes were as sharp as their talons, and their minds sharper still. I struck a bargain with the white-faced clan of the Sky Claws and the broad-winged clan of the Day Sky Claws, and they serve as my eyes, and I tend to certain other matters on their behalf. More than this, I cannot sing. They have their own secrets, which I am sworn not to betray, even to other kin, for any price. You now know the high story. The others, who came from the great breathless above, usurped our dominion, changed the earth's face, and created the tailless for their own mysterious purposes. They never even attempted to communicate. We were simple vermin to them, small things to be eradicated. I believe they were surprised, in their way, that we were able to mount a significant defense. Against the new music they brandished in the end, though, there could be no victory. Perhaps 1 in 1,000 kin survived, and even fewer now remain. One thing, however, is strange. It is clear that they intended to return, but tens of thousands of turnings have passed, and they still have not. The Delvers and the Tailless, their creations expected them long ago. Perhaps they will return soon. Perhaps they will return in 1,000,000 turnings. Perhaps they have been destroyed or forgotten our world. The threat of their return, along with the changes wrought by their creations upon our sacred Mother Earth, hang heavy over us, but hope remains. Learn all you can and accept nothing as final, such as my song to a young kin. Oh, can I go? Can I go home? I got turned into a cow. Can I go home? You are excused. Being in Darktooth's lair is both awesome and terrifying. Your fate is entirely in its control while you are here. Even if you are its own creation, you know that one false move could mean your doom. Before you even give voice of your desire to leave, Darktooth speaks. Permission to leave is granted. Do not return here again unless asked. I will still answer your summons at the border of my territory, if I will it, and proper tribute is brought. Of course, the old ways shall be honored. You have won a subtle yet valuable treasure here. Do not forget the great lesson which I have imparted to you in the form of the Blue Labyrinth. One thing only remains. Take this. The silvery rod was granted to you by Darktooth of the Wise. It was given without payment in exchange, which is counter to tradition, unless, of course, the giving of it somehow benefits the giver. Payment is not required. I do this for my own purposes. If my estimation of the young kin before me is accurate, what results shall be to my benefit. Remember that only by wisdom, the noble and endless quest, may we attain our deepest desires and our true destiny. Remember that all things are one and joined at the center. Such is my advice to my most promising creation. The Sky Claws lead you to a hidden passage which leads you back under the open sky, vanishing behind you. Soon you are amongst the comforting sounds, sights, and smells of your own domain. Whew! That was a lot. That's the Hierophant, alright. That's the learning one. Choose one additional artifact when beginning a later part. Your own lair and treasures seem like dirt and pebbles in comparison, but perhaps one day you will be an elder such as Darktooth, who possesses treasure and artifacts beyond imagination. Yeah, Darktooth, how many grains of sand do you have? But Darktooth's greatest treasure is none of those things. Oh, not now. Oh, behave. Screaming song of a kin tears at the morning air. An invader has come in accordance with tradition that states its identity and purpose. I am the leaping bolt from heaven, over bright, over hot, consuming all. I am the dire flame which cripples the night, forcing harsh light upon shadow. I am the blinding blaze, shocking and new. In your mind, you label this brash kin flare. O hatchling who dares claim sacred ground, your tender self is not worthy of these lands. By this tree which I have blasted to a smoke bleeding shell, I challenge you for this domain. When sun is next born, it shall belong to me. Flee if you value your life and survive. Keep your flesh unmarred and seek out a new dwelling. For if you are so foolish to lay claws against mine, I shall do to you as I have done here to such as my song. As you follow the sun to its source, your feathers tremble and rise. Fear courses deliciously through your veins. Upon your arrival, you see that it has blasted an innocent tree into utter destruction. It maintains threat stance, slamming its tail into the ground repeatedly. The scent of innocent cinders fanned the flames of righteous rage within you. Its mocking song is repeated over and over, the crash of its tail again and again. While fire calls you to action, the patient, humble voice of earth is strong enough within you to calm the flames of wrath. Observing that Flare has the high ground and is in a strong position, ready for any physical attack, you pause. Your feathers slowly relax, and fear is replaced with a more helpful mental weather. You circle around it, taking in its many scars, the sense of many places upon it. This is a nomad, a kin which has not known a permanent home in quite some time. So you are not a complete fool, it sings, its song slightly less jagged and more curved now. My truths remain, however. I am strong in both fire and earth. I destroy easily, and am not easily destroyed. You are weaker. Surrender is wise. Boldly attack now that you're in better position. Offer to trade. So that looks good. Well, that's green, so it's probably good. Summoning up all your mental strength, you blast the interloper's haughty song back, launching your own against it. Flare's will is strong, and its aggression leaves no space in the air for a retort, but with a mighty roar you shatter its concentration and force it into brief silence. Through the sound gap, you sing of your just claim to this holy land. In Flare's mind, you create an image of yourself as the unassailable lord of the great green, with your feet steadfast in the roots of ancient trees. The rivers flow with your own essence, the air is your breath, and you are feared and loved by the land. Flare shakes its head. You asked fish for food. Well, it was a long time. Trying to rid its mind of so many images of your dominance. Failing, it launches at you in a rage, but you have successfully shaken its deeper confidence. You have won the dance in spirit, and now only an easier battle of flesh remains. Well, it stands to... Oh, he's actually pretty weak. It stands to reason if he's fire, I should just use water. Moderate versus severe. Go for earth then. Go back to water. Got him. Get owned, noob. Blair's been defeated and forced to look elsewhere for a place to call its own. You have won your first territorial defense. It has left a bit of itself behind, a rather loud crown feather. Its screaming colors will do well to remind you of your victory. Yeah. Yeah, you better bet I got some level ups from all that. Burning Breath is now stronger. You can disguise your body as part of the surroundings, allowing you to hide from prey. This extends the amount of time you have to stalk prey. Yeah, whatever. Scream a powerful, discordant song into your opponent's mind. Deals mental damage and lowers their effectiveness in combat. The new sun has risen. Your song of life continues. Whew. I think I'm good for now. Hell yeah. Went to school, beat up a jock. That's how we do it in this town. If you'll excuse me, I have some to join. I talked for way longer than I thought I was going to. I knew that was going to be a long section, but oh boy. And tomorrow is Last Word again, which I'm finishing more out of obligation than desire. I mean, it's fine, I guess. But I'll be playing more of that tomorrow. and then it's back to Jimmy, and then back to this. And I think I made pretty good progress, and I have done the important step in one of the endings that's not the default ending, so that's pretty cool. And hopefully I didn't waste too many days, and I'm still going to be strong enough to be able to do later parts of the game. Considering how easy that fight was, it should be okay. But that's it for today.